welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Welcome back to our weekly dose of Tuna Cup action. I'm of course ShoWTimE VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the frequent chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to a very special edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Welcome to the Tuesday edition. Again, typically this event is showcased over the weekend. Typically it does take place over the weekend instead every Sunday, but this week we had the Fusion Esports League qualifiers clashing with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, so we did postpone, we did reschedule instead from a Sunday to a Tuesday. Let's go. So jumping into our first series, exclamation mark B in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves, the bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is looking beautiful. We got some first-time players as well. I'm excited to get into it. For the time being, though, we're jumping on in and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal. We have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Blem. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Pink Protoss, representing among SE2 people. It is Ateshi. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our PVZ. As we jump into our first series of the broadcast. Again, we'll be getting into the rest of the bracket after this initial matchup. For now, though, we're settling in. Game one going to be on Incorporeal, one of the, I would say, larger maps of the map, a little bit of a longer rushes and spike grounds. But the bases are a little bit more spread out here. We don't often get to see many games on Incorporeal. Oh my god, as Mixu has to calm down a little bit there, did actually stack his workers for a moment. Boy, calming down. Meanwhile, when it comes to Ateshi, when it comes to our Korean Protoss player, he is a very stylistic player. Very often we do see him go for some more quirky builds, some more unorthodox styles. We've seen a lot of all-ins, we've seen a lot of, say, sky toss rushes, for example. So Ateshi is a very, again, intentional, very particular player here, not the most standard. And Mixu has had plenty of experience with Ateshi. So show us what you got. Show us what you got. For now, standard openers, hatch gas pool, gate expand into the cyber core as well. But our eyes are on our players here. Our eyes are going to be on Ateshi when it comes to his second choice. When it comes to how hard he commits to the Stargates, as we do have the initial Stargate opener. From here, we can go Oracle into a third base, into plus on Leveling Stalker, or we can go for a second Stargate into a Fleet Beacon. I'm getting ahead of myself here just because of the history and because of what Ateshi is known for, but we'll see. We shall see. Everything so far looking normal. Likewise, Mixu does poke in with the Overlord. He will get eyes on the Stargate.
Queen birth successful.
Mixu is aware. He is aware. Also, before I forget, alright, yeah, of course, in the chat, get your predictions in while you can. They're about to close. The Gamba time. It's about to close, Matthew. Predict while you can. Shout out to the tuna. Beautiful, beautiful. Cool t-shirt, Senor Lights. Oh, thank you, thank you. It blends into the background. Yo, shout to Zeph. It's been so long. It's been so long. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Aye. As we're settling in. Now we do have our initial Oracle opener. Out of Ateshi. Nothing too crazy. We can see Mixu actually going in for a follow-up scout. Does confirm, does get eyes on the Oracle as well, and can always try to dip back in to see if we do have something more sinister on the way behind this. The Oracle is, or the Overlord is, in position. As Ateshi is setting up. And speaking of second Oracles on the way, we do have an earlier Roach Warren here at Mixu. 345 Roach Warren. Okay. Much more earlier here than normal. A much more aggressive timing from the side of Mixu. Let's go. You have my attention. So very early Warren. Lings, they do fan out. It's going to be up to Ateshi here to scout. To scout, to confirm, to get an eye on what is going on. To get vision on the initial Roach Warren. As we're setting up stasis traps early on, this is something we're not really used to here. But a very defensive setup. The Oracle is kept at home at zero scouting whatsoever, at least with the Oracle. And no vision behind this, going for his initial forge. Again, staying pinned back. At the same time, Mixu, yep, he's going for the all-in. We're amassing our roaches. We're spreading creep, and the queens, they're starting to walk across the map. Yeah, we're going to send it. And again, Ateshi has no idea. Yes, he does have a stasis trap here, but he has no other setup. Yeah, it's taking up as we speak. Twilight Council's also on the way. The army starts to move out. Stasis Trap is going to be baited out. Does get eyes on at least some Zerglings. But he sees nothing else. The all-in is coming his way, and still no vision from Ateshi, still no idea, no shield. Oh, there's one shield battery here at the third, no shield battery at the natural. Lings are moving in. Oh, setting up the surround. Baiting out the army. Yeah, trying to lure him out, trying to set up that surround. The roaches are amassing. Now he gets spotted. Now he knows. Now he sees, now he knows. Now we have some reactive shield batteries, but they're so delayed. They're so late here for Ateshi. Ay, ay, ay. The oracles move in, but that's what the queen's going to be for. And here they come. The queens are whirling across the map. 3 queens have arrived. They will zone away the oracles. Lings, they come in for that surround. And they catch out a stalker. They catch out the adepts. Oh, there's just the one pylon. And with that, Mixu, he should break through. He should break through. He should be able to overwhelm. The pylon goes down. Depowers the shield battery. There's 3 stalkers raiding the vials. Oh my god, the vials do connect. And there's nothing left. There's nothing here. The oracles, they survive. But again, the queens will zone the way. Now we can focus our attention on the natural. And there's what, 1 adept left. Oracles, they do rotate. They do reposition. But again, Ateshi, he was just playing so blind this game. Going into DTs. Bold move. Bold move out of Ateshi. Going into the Dark Templar, but again, he had no vision and no scouting, whether it was with the depths, whether it was with a sentry, whether with the oracles. He's just staying back home. GG gets called, and Mixu, he will overwhelm. He will take game number 1. GG. Mixu, he will take a lead in the series. Again, straight up all in at a Mixu, and Ateshi had 0 vision, 0 scouting. Unfortunately, again, as you mentioned, a bit of a peculiar start out of Ateshi to open up with the Oracle, but to keep the Oracle back home, to throw down a safety stasis trap as well. In a way, yes, kind of safe setup there, but at the same time, he had no idea what was going on. If he was aware, he could set up shield batteries ahead of time. He could abandon his third base and set up a defense at the natural. He could have made some other decisions, could have had some kind of preparation. But again, he had no idea until it was already knocking down his front door, until it was already in his face with that GG. GG, well played. And Mixu will take a lead in the series, and now we're jumping to game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into game 2 here. And we'll see if Ateshi is able to bring us back and force the ace match, or if Mixu will take it from here. Let's go. Let's go. As we're going to be loading into one of the more standard maps in the map pool. Welcome to Leylines, of course. Leylines does have, I would say, a little bit more middle of the road here. It's not as small as Pylon, not as large as Maganatha. Let's jump in. As spawning in the right-hand corner, we have our Finnish Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing, Clan Blam. It is Mixu. Leading the series 1-0. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from South Korea, representing among SC2 people. It is Ateshi. It's beautiful. I love the clan tag. Yes, calming down, we're settling in. Again, Mixu popping off here with an all-in, with a much more aggressive start. And again, it's going to be on Ateshi to scout, to get an idea on what Mixu is up to react, to respond, to prepare. Oh, hello. Speaking of, Mixu does open up with a gas first. Gas into a spawning pool before the hatchery. A very aggressive start here out of Mixu. And with this aggressive start, we're expecting early link speed. This can lead into a Bane Bust if we stay in gas. This can also lead into early roaches as well, depending on how hard we commit into that gas income. Oh boy. So once again, Mixu, he does have a much more aggressive start to the game. Ateshi back home, going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. Now, I might be concerned here, which is not normal. We even saw Probe Scout last game. This game, we see nothing at the moment. It's going to be a scout after the Cybercore gets thrown down, so a much later scout here from Ateshi. Typically, it's standard to go across the map and to try to get a read on, or try to even delay the initial hatchery timing. So this is a much later scout from Ateshi. As he's moving in, Lings have arrived. He will at least get eyes on the Zerglings. He knows. At the same time, a link speed is on the way, and we're staying in gas. We are staying in gas, so this is going to be for the, I would imagine, it's going to say Baliness. It's going to be for the Roach Warren. Regardless, we're going for an all-in. Mixu, he's not stopping. Now, I was hoping to get a little bit out of this series, a little bit more. I mean, regardless, at least at Ateshi, he's aware, right? He's aware of the early spawning pool, but he doesn't go into the main. Oh, no. He does not go into the main base. And what I mean by that is that, sure, he knows that there are early Zerglings. He doesn't know about the gas. He doesn't know how committed this really is. In his mind, it could just be a safe opener. It could be a Link Flood. It could be a Bane Bus. It could be a Virtual In. There's a lot of possibilities here. It could be a fast lair. It is something crazy. Like Night Display. But Ateshi, he does not know. Back at home, he does have a safety shield battery. So one shield battery going for a Twilight Council opener, not a Stargate. Reactively, if he had gone for a Stargate opener, he could go for Void Rays. Void Rays to defend, Oracles as well. They can help, especially against Ling reinforcements. But a Twilight Council means he's sticking to a ground-based army, to a gateway composition. And that's where a Virtual In like this, a Ravager all-in, can excel. As this tech of choice is not going to come into play. It's just not going to be a factor. The best we can hope for, yeah, is DTs. So the best we can hope for here is that Ateshi is able to buy enough time to warp in Dark Templar. Bearing in mind there's no lair, right? There's no lair, there's no detection. DTs could potentially defend, but we have to survive long enough to actually warp in Dark Templar. And here comes Mixu. Yeah, here comes Mixu. Mixu, the Roaches and Ravagers are moving in. Lings are building up. Mixu cutting workers at 16. He has not made a drone in quite some time. And it's go time. This one, it is go time. Behind this, we have a second shield battery on the way. Ateshi trying to... sorry, that's a pylon. Never mind. Never mind. Getting a second pylon. I mean, that'll keep everything powered a little bit longer here, but again, he doesn't know. He's expanding. He hasn't seen anything, papi. Ay, ay, ay. He doesn't know. Here we go. The Lings, they do flood in. And the wall is going to be broken. Biles, they will connect. They knock down the wall. Boys are being pulled. Lings, they flood on forward. They get a full surround. And there's no shot. There's no defense here. Biles, they do connect. Going for the shield battery. Probes are going to be falling. There's 3 Stalkers remaining. And the pylons are being depowered. And sure, there's going to be a Dark Shrine, but there's going to be 0 gateways powered. There's going to be no way to warp in. Yeah, no way to warp in. Lings, they finish off Stalkers. There's 1 Stalker left. Gateways are depowered. And we have a Dark Shrine. We have no Dark Templar. We have no Dark Templar. GG gets called. And Mixu, he will snowball out of control. He will take the series 2-0. He'll advance on into the next round. GG. There's a PSA for Protoss players out there. Happy, get an eye on these animals, okay? Like, as unfortunately, we had very limited scouting here out of Ateshi, both in game 1 and in game 2, and as a result, he was caught with his pants down both times in both games in the entire series. Oh, GG, well played. Congratulations to Mixu. Mixu, he will claim the series here. Ateshi will be knocked out in the first round. My condolences to Ateshi. He's a great player. Again, we've seen Ateshi excel in the mid game. He can be an amazing player, but he did not get there, did not get to the mid game. Mixu did make sure that never happened. Made sure that never happened. GG, well played. And yeah, with that, congratulations. Mixu will claim the series, and let us head on over here to the rest of the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we're headed. Let's go. Let us go. As we are going to be hopping on over, and we do have our bracket here. Okay, from the top. Actually, I believe this is not updated. Un momento here. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So exclamation RP in the chat. The bracket has been progressing, and here we go. We have from the top, we have ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE is going to be the #1 seed of the tournament. Again, typically when it comes to our events, we have regulars like Solar, like Beyond, like ShoWTimE, like Skilless as well. But I do recognize that we have a little bit less Korean participation this week. I mean, as I mentioned, typically our tournaments are over the weekend. This is a first for us, hosting on a Tuesday, just because we had to reschedule. So it looks like some of the Koreans not as available here. We have some more European representation instead. ShoWTimE being the #1 seed. We'll see if anyone can bring him down. Scrolling down, speaking of Koreans, we do have Rebellion, the Korean Protoss player, up against Lelix, the Italian Protoss. They're facing off in a PvP. Scrolling down, we have Shameless up against Tebs. Tebs is competing for the first time, so a big shout to Tebs, as he's a little bit more of an inexperienced player, but has decided to step into the ring, so much love to Tebs. Scoring down, we have Young Yakov. Young Yakov is up against Ragnar in the first round. Best of luck, as we do have some heavy hitters here, like Young Yakov, Shameless, Rebellion as well. Scoring down to the lower half of the bracket, we have our next matchup here. We have uThermal up against CranKy in the chat. Oh boy, as again, uThermal, he has never played in a Tuna Cup before. He has played in a Turtle Tussle, which is another tournament that we used to host that is now on hiatus, but basically the Turtle Tussle was a tournament a little bit more centralized, a little bit more focused towards the America's time slot and America's time zone, which did help uThermal just because he's in Mexico. At least he was in Mexico. I say that just because, of course, uThermal, he did I believe recently go back to Europe for Home Story Cup, and he might still be in Europe. That would make the most sense, because I believe it is a really rough time in the Americas right now, as in time slot wise. Let's see. Mexico time. It's 4:30 a.m. 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So I don't think uThermal's in Mexico right now. I think he's back in Europe. Again, he was in Europe last week for Home Story Cup, so he might still be there. I'll try to find out. I'll try to find out for you. But yes, uThermal is going to be competing in the Tuna Cup for the first time. Best of luck, as he did pop off during Home Story Cup, and I do think there's high expectations for uThermal. Scoring down, we have Mixu. Mixu takes down Ateshi 2-0, now advancing on a face-off against the winner of uThermal and CranKy. Scoring down, we have Percival. We have Percival up against Grape. They're facing off in the first best of 3. And likewise, we have Nicorect. He does take down Hackers Top 2-0 to advance on to the next round as well. So again, the tournament is slowly progressing. I say slowly because our match was a little bit faster. We had a lot of cheese, we had a lot of aggression, so we did finish up a little bit faster than some of these other matches. And typically, we try to like focus our attention and try to centralize on a portion of the bracket and keep everything kind of within that to make sure that we kind of follow certain players. So we just featured Mixu. Ideally, we jump into uThermal versus CranKy as well as they face off in the next round, and then we can follow that into Mixu. Then we can follow that into the lower semifinals. We are going to be casting both semis. As a reminder, both semis will be casted. The upper bracket is going to be progressing as well, and there's some really good matches there. Like, I look forward to seeing Yakov versus Shameless. Like, that looks like a really good PvZ, potentially, of course, if they're able to make it to face off against each other. Likewise, Percival versus Nicorect also looks like a spicy TVT as well, if we do get there. For now, though, we are looking for our players here. Hold on. What I mean by that is we're looking for uThermal so we can start his series, and if so, then we can jump into that up next. Un momento. Just catching up. Didn't know Mixu was finished. Yeah, he's from Finland. You're from Finland. Ah, let's go. Let's go. Mr. Thermi in the bracket. Exactly. Again, it's a first for him. It's a first for uThermal. He doesn't often compete in the Sparkling Tuna Cup, at least, or I say compete in the Tuna Cup in general. He doesn't often compete in online tournaments. It's a bit of a rarer sight here for uThermal. Often he's you know, of course, making content, streaming. Recently he's been focusing a lot on 2v2, right? He's been hosting his own 2v2 circuit as well, but that's also why it was so surprising to see uThermal over the weekend at Home Story Cup. For those that maybe missed out on it, I do recommend the VODs. You know, we were fortunate enough to be the B stream for Home Story Cup, and uThermal, he popped off and he came out in second place out of his group. Who did uThermal advance on over? He advanced on over a Laser and Geralt as well. Two pretty big names and bigger scenes in, bigger seeds in Europe right now. So really impressive stuff. Like Laser, I'd say he's like top 5, top 4 Zerg player in Europe. Geralt as well, also up there amongst the Protoss players in Europe as well. So uThermal, he had a really surprising result at Home Story Cup, and even in the playoffs, like, it was looking quite impressive. Like, we were able to cover uThermal versus SOS in that TVP, and I will say that currently, at least, uThermal, his TVP is looking very impressive, very intense, very high octane. That's what I will say, and hopefully we can get to that. Hopefully. Mr. Cole was great. uThermal crush. He did. Like, he was crazy. It was crazy as Home Story Cup. For now, though, we're going to be going on a very short break. It looks like uThermal, he's on his way. He's on his way over to the America server. Videos will be underway, and again, as I mentioned before, our next series is going to be uThermal versus COT. That's going to lead into Mixu and lead into those lower bracket matches. Meanwhile, we just got another update here. Shameless takes down Tebs 2-0. Young Yakov takes down Ragnar 2-0, and Shameless versus Young Yakov is currently about to begin. Rebellion also takes down Lelix 2-0 as well. So the initial the round 16 is progressing. Quite nicely. I'm tempted. I'm tempted for Shameless Young Yakov. Like that's such a good matchup. I wish I could cast that as well. At the same time, I don't want to, like, you know, leave Mixu behind. I want to feature uThermal as well if possible. Young had a really deep run as well. He did, for sure. But for now, we're going to be going on a very short break. We're going to be going on a short break here, and when we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have uThermal and COT. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Sparkling Tuna Cup number 96. Jesus, it's been 96 weeks of Tuna Cup. It's crazy. We're jumping into our second series of the broadcast, so we're jumping into a... Oh my god. We're jumping into a random versus Protoss matchup. This morning in the right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Terran player. I'll fix up his name, but he's an animal. He's his name may be indicative of what's about to happen as well. We have the Terran player, but competing as random, rolling as Terran from the land of the Netherlands. It is uThermal, the cheese maniac. Not like this. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss. It is ShoWTimE. I'll fix up their names. One moment. Bam, beautiful. Here we go. We are settling into our best of 3. And again, uThermal, I was asking, of course, uThermal, he has been living in Mexico for the past couple of years, but currently he is back in Europa. He's back in the Netherlands, I believe, visiting family, of course, and spending some time with loved ones over in Europe. So he's not going full degen. He's not staying up until like 5 a.m. to compete, thankfully. And he is, of course, picking random. Now, he does typically compete as Terran. Again, at Home Star Cup, he also competed as Terran as well. But here for the first round, he's going to be having fun with random. Does roll his main race, I will say that. So he's going to have the edge coming into this. But we'll see if ShoWTimE can keep up. For now, double gas. Double gas opener out of uThermal. Double gas going into a faster factory. And with this is going for a more tech-heavy start. Now, this can lead into a... Oh, before I get ahead of myself, if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as you get your gamma going. Now, as we get into a double gas opener, this technically can lead into a one base all-in. We can go factory into a starport into a one base setup, or of course something more standard as we pull out of gas is factory into CC on the low ground. The only reason why I bring up one base all-in as we're going for the tech lab early on, Jesus, is because uThermal, he does like to have some fun. He does like to meme at times. He can play standard, don't get me wrong, 100%, but especially in the early rounds of a tournament, he is tempted to go for something more unusual. But now, CC on the low ground, insanely fast tech lab here from uThermal, going for the add-on swap into an early Cyclone. Okay. So Reaper into tech lab, into add-on swap into early Cyclone out of uThermal. Is going to be opening up. With this, he will gain map control early on. The Stalker does move out, but the Cyclone is designed to punish the Stalker. As Stalker will attempt to delay the CC, SCV does pull away. More Stalker is going to be rallying in. Cyclone is halfway done. The SCV is going to be caught out. Not bad. SCV does fall, and back at home, it's going to be a Twilight Council opener out of ShoWTimE. So uThermal does poke in, does confirm the tech. Let's get eyes on the tech of choice. Probe's going to be going down. Cyclone has arrived, and the CC is on the way. Stalkers did race back home. Behind this, going for the starport follow-up. Investing into a second Cyclone. No tank production yet here out of uThermal. Likewise, we're not really set up for an add-on swap into Cloak Banshee. Never mind. Yo, oh my god. Okay, I assumed that we were not going to be swapping here with the factory. We still are not. We're just going to be making the tech lab itself on the starport. With this, we can open up, or we can follow this up with Banshee play. We could even go into Raven for Raven Harass as well, something a little bit more tame. But Banshee play has been a little bit more trendy as of late in TVP. Show us what you got. There it is. Banshees are on the way. And again, it's going to be up to our Protoss player here to scout to confirm. Behind this, throwing down a massive amount of gateways, getting up to a 4-gate setup. Okay, so 4-gate Blink Stalker out of ShoWTimE. Very aggressive, very dedicated. Robo also going to be on the way. And that should be for the War Prism to move out across the map. Now, going into a gateway-heavy composition like this can punish a player that is delaying and skipping tank production. Without tanks, it can be very difficult to defend your main base and your natural. Thankfully for uThermal, tanks are on the way, but remember, he did invest into a second Cyclone, which did delay tank production even further. Oh, as the first Cyclone does go down, and uThermal, he's not fully aware, not yet. Doesn't know how many gateways there are. Tanks are setting up, but again, we do need some support for the tank as well. No bunker. Stalkers are amassing. More Stalkers going to be reinforcing. Doesn't go for the Prism yet. Going for the Observer first. Let's break in. At this point, he cannot go for the dive. Bunker is halfway done. The Bio Army's in position. Banshees are amassing as well. And Cody has to make a choice. No Prism, going for another Observer, so he's expanding. Okay, he's expanding. This is an interesting decision here from our Protoss player. He committed quite hard here into 4 gateways, but he's not going for the Prism. Looks like he is expanding. He's not committing as hard as he otherwise could. So it's a little bit more middle of the road here from Cut. But this does mean that he has a late third. So his third base is late, and he's not really achieving much for it. He can threaten the bases, but again, he's not as dedicated as he otherwise could have been. As he's making his way into the main, he can blink behind the mineral line. Oh. Going for the gases. Tank does reposition. I guess an SCV. Oh, it does dive on the tank, but it's taking a lot of hits to the face. Yeah, Stalkers are going down, and he's forced to recall, bleeding out another Stalker. Yeah, 2-3 more Stalkers falling. uThermal does defend, and now he can counterattack. Here come the Banshees. They are spotted by the Observer, true. Observer does spot them. And we do see Kots react. He's racing back home. Does go for the warp in. And remember, there's no cloak. There's no cloak for these Banshees. Stalkers, they will zone up. Oh, catching up one of the Banshees. Nice catch. Banshee does go down. But uThermal, he breaks out. And what's scary here is that, unfortunately, the Observer's covering the main base. The Observer does not see the natural. Does not see the move out. Yeah, Cody's in the dark. Doesn't see the army coming his way. There's a scan. There are Stalkers in position. Charge is still in production. No charge, no splash damage. Just a couple of Stalkers. Tanks do siege. Oof. Tank boy's going up. Thermal pushing forward. Cod double expanding. Ay, ay, ay. That's a bold move here by Cod. Taking his forward. At the same time trying to commit in. Does focus out the tank, and the tank will not fall. Yeah, barely does survive. And here we all got geez. The boys have been pulled. Let's go. uThermal does pull the boys. He's going for the kill. He smells blood in the water. Again, there's no splash damage. He stims in, and there's not much to stop him. There's no shield batteries. Again, Caught he rushed into a 4th base. He was crazy. Delayed his tech for that. And he should lose everything here. The tank does survive. The 3rd base is being broken. Cody still has somewhat of a standing army, but he just cannot push in. He cannot engage within tank range. He's forced further back. Oh, does go for the blink. Nice pickup. Nice pickup, but it's going to cost him everything. Okay. Like, it's a nice pickup. Unfortunately, there's not really much left over. As uThermal is moving in, Zealous will take the Mind Shields to the face. We have an Immortal standing. We have a shield battery. But uThermal, he stims and he wins. He's heavily overstimmed, but he has too much. GG gets called. The boys are being pulled, and uThermal, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. He will take a lead in the series. Again, Kot, he did have some nice moments in this game, is what I will say, when it came to counterattacking across the map, you know, getting into the main base. Unfortunately, didn't really get much damage done with his harassment. He was able to delay the CC early on, but unfortunately, he did miss the move out. He missed the main army. He reacted quite nicely against the Banshees. Remember, the Banshees didn't really do much damage, right? They got deflected in the main, which was great, but to do so, he actually pulled back all of his Stalkers, so he didn't have anything in position to spot the move out. He didn't have anything to slow it down, to get eyes on the push, and as a result, he didn't know to get ready for something like that. That's why he was expanding. That's why he was getting a 4th base in the face of a 2-base all-in. So unfortunately, he just was lacking that vision, was lacking that scouting, and had no idea whether it was his army being in position or the Observer. Remember, the Observer was in the main to give him vision to blink into the main base initially, but after that had transpired, after he was forced out and forced to recall, the Observer never repositioned, right? He never repositioned to rotate down to the entrance to the natural, so he didn't see much of anything. GG. GG, well played. But of course, everything was quite intense. Everything was happening at once, and it's a lot to take in. And we'll see if Kot can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can try to make a series out of this. The pressure is on Kot. So we go as we are getting ready for game number 2. Here we go. Oh, sorry, just catching up with the chat. Just catching up. I mean, well, big shout out to Grimy UK in the chat. Gah, baby, yeah. Thank you so much for the raid. Oh my god, of the raid of 60. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good session. Welcome. Bienvenidos. Welcome to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. I see someone asking in the chat, is this from a replay? This is a live event. Again, typically if there's going to be a replay cast, we do actually post replay in the stream title. So it's usually there for all to see. But this is a live event. But thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great time. So, here we go. So here we go. We're getting into our next game. Getting into game number 2. Gonna be on Tokamak. I had min time, yes. Do apologize. After this, uThermal versus Mixu. Mixu is waiting for the winner of this series. And also, before I forget, a big shout out to Shiva Blaster in the chat. God. Thank you so much for subscribing for 42 months. That's a long time. 42 months. That's a lot of support. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. Here we go. As we are getting into our next matchup here, and spawning the right corner of Tokamak, we have the red Terran player himself in the land of the Netherlands, leading the series 1-0. It is uThermal. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself. It is Cut. We go. As we're getting into our next game, as we're getting into our series here, and again, Kochi had some nice moments in the last game, but unfortunately, again, he just had a really hard time keeping an eye on what uThermal was up to. On the move outs, on the all in, but now we're settling into our next game. Here we go. And of course, welcome one and all to Tokamak. Tokamak is going to be one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance from my ground, more defensive bases as well. I would say that if uThermal were to go for a 2-base all-in, it would be a little bit more difficult to achieve and a little bit more difficult to really get underway. So we'll see if he does adjust his approach. As for now, going for a Rax into Factory off of the single Gas Geyser. Interesting. With this, he can go into earlier Helium production. Does go for the CC on the low ground. as uThermal does mix up his opener. Again, as a reminder, last game we saw the earlier second gas geyser, which led into earlier Cyclone production. Here, with less gas to work with, we're going for the reactor, not the tech lab. So reactor follow-up from uThermal. This is uThermal's first SEC, right? Yes, yes. If I'm not mistaken, I believe his first Tuna Cup. Ah. As here comes Yad on top. Getting into that reactor Hellion. Behind this is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of cut. Once again, opening up Twilight Council. Stalker does move out across the map, but just like last game, is here to attempt to delay the CC. And will be able to. There we go, does force a recall. uThermal will defend, can go back to building up, go back to producing. Now from here, as we commit into reacted Hellion, it does seem like we can go into drop play here with the Medivac. We can go for either a Hellion drop or even a combination of Hellion and Mine drop as well. Meanwhile, back at home, it is going to be a charge base opener, not Blink. Okay, COD is mixing things up here. Is going for something far more different, far more sinister. Rushing to early charge. Hellions do move out. So far, COD, he's walled up here at the natural. Key is secure. As uThermal does move out. It does move out with his mine drop. Now with this, he can either go for the mine drop into the bases here and then go for a dive into the natural, or he can try to mine drop the natural base, try to break open that front door, and then rush in. And it looks like he's going for it. Yeah, he's going for the natural. Mine drop is coming in. We'll see how quickly COD does respond. No reaction, no response to mine shots. The mine shots go off. They break through the front door. A bit of friendly fire, but Hellions, they bust into middle line. Probe's going to be going down. Probes, they do line up. And with that, everything is getting roasted. That's going to be the entire middle line going down. Ay, ay, ay. 11 probe kills, 12 probe kills falling. Widow mines, they did survive as well. Can't even go for High Templar. It just rushes in, just rushes past. Storm. We're rushing into 2-base Storm. Crazy build here out of COD, but this is a critical damage. Again, unfortunately, he just did not react in time. 22 workers do go down. Widow mines, they waddle away. They set up once again. And uThermal's looking quite comfortable. He's looking quite comfortable here. If we were going for an earlier charge timing, I mean, now we can't afford it. Now we're down to 24 workers, barely an economy. Storm is done, that is true, but what can we do with Storm? Also, hopefully we don't run into the Widow mines. As uThermal does contain his opponents. Blink is not done, but does get eyes on the initial mine. Can go for hallucination. And back at home, we're just building up towards Stim, +1. Now would actually be a really good moment for uThermal to pull the boys and to go for a 2-base all-in, with his Stim timing, of course. But the reasoning for this is that uThermal knows that his opponent's crippled, right? COD, he is crippled, he's lost so many workers, he cannot afford to actually produce an army. Right now, COD is hoping that uThermal's passive, that uThermal, he's more defensive, that he gives him time to recover. And we'll see what uThermal, or how he approaches this. Initial drop is moving out. We have 4 High Templar so far. 5 High Templar even, that's a lot of Templar. We're going for the drop play. Hallucination does get eyes on one of the drops. The other does skirt around the edge on the right hand side. Does unload. Going for the pylon. You see uThermal coming in from 3 angles. He's got a drop on the left, drop on the right, and we have a push in the middle. Just with the Marines, just to harass. He's not really committing with anything. He's keeping his main army back at home. He was, until now. Dust him in. Tanks one of the storms. Takes down One Eye Templar. Nice pickup. Nice snipe by uThermal. And Sims in, takes down the sentry. Going for the third base. Main army's pushing forward. And there's barely an army. There's barely an army here. There's Storm, but there's no support. There's barely any Zealots. Barely any charge lots. As more storms are coming in, tanks have arrived. They're getting within range of the Nexus. And it's going to be a tough hold here for Cut. Against storms on the tanks. They tickle the tanks. They do what they can, but GG gets called. Well played. And uThermal, he will take the series 2-0. He'll advance on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. uThermal, he will claim the series. He will advance on. Again, a strong showing here from uThermal. Some cheeky builds at times, especially in game number 1, of course. Caught again, he just had a bit of a harder time at keeping up. A bit of a time in keeping up with the initial move outs. Even here in game number 2 as well, had a bit of a later reaction when it comes to the initial drop play. And with that, GG, well played. GG, well played, and with that, uThermal, he will make it through. He'll advance on to the next round, and let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. Here we go. As from the top, we do have some updates here. We do have Rebellion. We already covered that. Rebellion just does take down Lennox 2-0. Let's see if we do have any other matchups here. We have Anatar. Anatar takes down Bulkachin 2-0 as well, up against ShoWTimE in the round 16. Looks like there's only one match still ongoing in the round 16. Rebellion still waiting for the winner of ShoWTimE and Anatar. We have Shameless versus Young Yakov, currently mid-series. Again, I would not be surprised if that goes all the way to the ace match. Meanwhile, Mixu has been patiently waiting. That's our next matchup. Mixu versus uThermal in the quarterfinals. Scrolling down a little bit further here, Percival. Oh my god, Percival takes down Grape and takes down Nickrak 2-0. Big win here for Percival. Percival is the first to make it to the semifinals, waiting for the winner of uThermal and Mixu. Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. So we are setting up. We are getting ready for our next series between uThermal and Mixu. Now, uThermal, he was playing random against Kot. I would imagine he's going to be playing Terran against Mixu. I would imagine. But we'll see, as vetoes are currently underway. Just catching up in the chat. Meanwhile, big shout out to Coca. Oh my god, happy guy. sorry, I was a little bit distracted. But a big shout out to Coca as well. Aye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. That would have been an early stream as well. I know it's quite early in Europe at the moment, so Coca, calm down. European time. It's like midday. So that must have been an early stream. So buenos dias. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great either ladder session or cast. Regardless, thank you so much. And welcome one and all to the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Here, of course, this is a weekly tournament. Typically, this tournament is a weekly on Sundays, but we have rescheduled to Tuesday this week just because of the Fusion Esports League qualifier. So there was a big qualifier happening over the weekend, so we did reschedule. And now we're getting into our next matchup. Here we go. We're going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, oh god, speaking of all the rates. A shout out to Luis, Papi Luis. God, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great stream and ladder session. Luis, Papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great time. Welcome. Here we go. For this tournament, two favorites, Mixu and uThermal, and they play versus each other. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of heavy hitters here. A lot of heavy hitters, right? So there's Mixu, there's uThermal, there's Shameless, Young Yakov. Don't forget ShoWTimE. Remember ShoWTimE? He's up there. He's #1 seed of the tournament. #1 seed, and of course we have Percival as well, waiting in the lower semis. Some big names, might be big names. But yes, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we will have uThermal and Mixu facing off. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break. and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to welcome back to the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 96. Again, your weekly dose of Tuna Cup action. We are here. We are back with the first series of the quarterfinals, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. It is Mixu. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands. He is remarkable. uThermal. Hi, here we go. We're here, we are back, and as a reminder, just as a bit of a heads up here, uThermal, he is not playing as random. He has chosen Protoss as his race for this series, so we are stepping into the ring here. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats as we jump into our ZVP. Now, if you were here for the Home Story Cup broadcast, if you recall, uThermal did have an interview. As hopefully everything's okay. Okay. As I'm spiking right now. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I will have to step out of this game. As my ping just shot up to 1,000. So again, the stream is fine. We're good. We're here. Unfortunately, my connection to Europe just died horribly. No idea what happened. No idea what happened here. I will try to set up a VPN. Maybe that'll help out, but yeah, usually everything's okay. Usually usually it's a Korean server that has issues, but yeah, I just I just spiked up to 1,000 and disconnected from Europe. Lovely. So yes, we'll be getting into uThermal versus Mixu. Hopefully we'll be able to get into game number 2. I do apologize that that we're encountering this issue here. Again, we haven't had an issue with the European server before, but yeah, feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Sometimes the Blizzard servers can be a little bit chaotic, a little bit unstable at times. So we will be unfortunately missing out on game 1, but we should be able to jump into game 2. I'm just setting up my VPN to make sure that that doesn't happen again. I will connect to Amsterdam. Okay. NL Europe Amsterdam. Solid. But yeah, I do apologize for us not being able to cover game 1, but we should be able to join game 2 without any issue. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it's just unfortunately a little bit out of our control, and hopefully it's not something that plagues the broadcast for the rest of the tournament. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we will have the rest of the series. We'll be able to jump into game 2. Guess we'll see you soon in around 10 or so minutes. I'm hoping that this doesn't lead into the late game. I mean, it's a PvZ on Tokamak. Feels bad, man. Which means they can go the distance. I'm not too familiar with uThermal's Protoss. I'll be honest, I'm not too familiar with his PvZ. I was going to bring up the fact that during Home Story Cup, he had an interview where, fun fact for those who are unaware, for those who didn't watch the broadcast, in the lead up to Home Story Cup, he actually was laddering a lot of Protoss, and he was hoping to compete as Protoss as well, depending on the matchup. He excelled with his Terran, and he did play a little bit of PvP. If you recall, he played Protoss against Zaun, and he played Protoss against SOS as well. And he was honestly ahead in both games. In both against SOS and Zaun, he was actually ahead in certain aspects in that PvP, but then he lost his lead. You know, he was at times a little bit too passive, not as assertive, not as aggressive. His opponents were able to recover and able to take those games, but he was looking quite impressive with his Protoss, and I'll be honest, I might even favor him against Mixu with this Protoss as well, but unfortunately we'll have to find out for game number 2. So we're going to be going on a break, to apologize, and when we come back we'll have the remainder of the series. See you then in around 10 or so minutes. Oh boy. and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I do apologize for the extended delay there, for the extended break. Unfortunately, we did lag out of game one. Don't really know what happened. Like, our internet was fine, our connection to Twitch was fine, but our connection to Battle.net was a different story. Was a different story entirely, but here we go. We're jumping into game number 2. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Mixu. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. Oh, let's go. He was playing Protoss in game 1. Didn't quite see what occurred there, but it looks like he's switching out of Protoss. It is, or he is, Remarkable. uThermal. Here we go. One moment here as we do set up his in-game name. I got you. Here we go. We are going to be jumping in. And again, I do apologize for not being able to cover game 1. Game 1, uThermal, he did actually compete and play as Protoss. And it was quite a long game, actually. It was quite a long game, quite a long back and forth. I want to say around 15 minutes between both Mixu and uThermal. In the end, did go Mixu's way. And uThermal here switched to his main race instead. So we had some fun with Protoss in game 1. Now coming into game number 2, switching to Terran. Let's go. Let us go. For now, CC first. Okay. CC first out of uThermal. Bold move here. Bit of a greedier start. Bit of a greedier build. We'll see where Mixu does take us as well. So far, hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool. Mixu's Polish. Finland. Finnish. Did I say Polish? If I did, I apologize. But Finnish, Zerg. Finnish, Zerg. Do apologize if I misspoke. Do apologize. As for now, we are going to be settling in. And again, Mixu does have that 1-0 lead. Tori, see. Let's go. I was really excited about seeing uThermal's Protoss. Smooch. Feels bad, man. But again, as you can see, so far everything's looking smooth. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. But I did turn on my VPN, did reroutes to Europa, and hopefully everything is as smooth as can be. So initially we do move out. Again, CC first, interaction to factory. Outside of the initially greedy opener here, we're settling into a standard game. Meanwhile, Mixu does fan out with his early Zerglings, does move out across the map, and we'll see what he can get done with this. The Reaper's on the way. If he doesn't stay at home, then we may pick off some SCVs. So Mixu does sneak out. SCV Scout does get eyes on the hatchery, does get eyes on the third base. Reaper is back at home and is in position to defend against the Lynx. Is in position. Nice setup here from uThermal. Takes down the initial Zerglings. We have the attempted scout. uThermal does shut it down. And behind this, going for a 1-1-1. The Zergling, I believe, does get eyes on the starports. Ooh, barely nuts. Is not aware. He's not quite aware. Again, it's important to point that this is a more aggressive build here by uThermal. He's going to be delaying his third CC in favor of a very fast starport into a 1-1-1. Honestly, this is a bit of an old school setup here. We rarely see this as we are now going for that third CC. But again, a delayed third in favor of faster starport, in favor of faster Hellion, and I would imagine Banshee play. But we'll keep an eye on uThermal. We'll keep an eye on him. Technically, we could go for a fusion core, and we could be a little bit more committed here. Oh, opening up Liberator. Okay, so Hellion Lib out of uThermal. Interesting. With this, he can move out. He can harass across the map. We'll see what he can get done as the queens do get caught in each other for a moment. See in the chat as the Hellion Reaper attempts to dive in, and we spoke about the fusion core. We spoke about the VC. There it is. Fusion core is on the way, going into battle cruiser. Again, this makes more sense in the sense that we did open up with the faster starport, so now into fusion core, into BC. This can lead into mech, and uThermal, he is one to embrace mech from time to time. What I find interesting though is that we are actually okay. We have to calm down. Add-on swap into react. Wait, we're going into Liberator range. Wait, what? No shot. What is happening? Hellion Reapers poking in, just keeping Mixu busy. Meanwhile, we have the Lair first out of Mixu, Lair into Baliness. Very safe play out of Mixu. With this, he can go into a faster bailing speed. It means a delayed Eva Chamber, delayed 1-1 upgrades out of Mixu. But I just assumed this was going to be a setup into Battle Cruiser, but never mind. We're going to range. He's crazy. Where's Yaku? Where's Yaku Zaku Papu? I've never seen a player rush into Liberator range in this matchup. I think even period, I don't think. Okay, let's go. Someone message Yaku. He needs to know what's happening right now. Aye. As we are going to be harassing across the map, 3 drones going down. The first Liberator will fall. But again, Mixu, there's no shot he would expect this. He's now moving in. He will avenge. Oh, never mind. I was going to say he will eventually scout. He has no vision. We're massing on more Hellions. We're going into an army. We're going for a Hellbat push. So Hellbats alongside the Liberators. Speaking of, more Liberators have arrived. Luna catch out a Queen. Liberator range is still not quite yet done. Still in production, but nice setup here. Spores pushing in. The Liberators do back up. At the same time, Hellions, they move forward. The armory is still not yet done, though. Drones are lining up. Trying to hunt them down. Bailey's are on the way. Thermal does catch out a Queen. No transfuse. Nice pickup. Nice pickup. Now pulls away. Rotates back around. Armory is about to complete. We can morph in those Hellbats. Likewise, Liberators are repositioning. Hellions, they bust in towards the main. Ling Bang cannot go up this ramp. Yeah, he can't go up. He does get roasted. Bailings, they do not connect. He busts into the main. Drones are going to be going down. And now he can morph in. Doesn't quite go for the morph. Gets around it. It's going to be cleaned up. 8 drone kills. Decent damage. Liberators reposition, but there are plenty of Queens. And Mixu holds. Mixu does hold on. We have a second starport. Second starport's on the way. What's happening right now? What's going on? And I do like Mixu's response. Spire. Going for the Spire here. He does scout. He does get eyes on the fusion core. He rotates back around. He does see both starports and both reactors as well. Corruptors. We do need Corruptors here, and Mixu sees everything. Mixu confirms. So again, nice scout out to Mixu. uThermal, we're still going Mass Liberator. Oh, God. We're clowning, Papi. We're clowning. Let's go. You know what this is? This is like a YouTube comments, like, suggestion strategy. That's what this feels like. It feels like uThermal, he like posted a video. He's like, hey guys, you know, post a strategy and I'll do it next time I play in the tournament. And that's what we're getting right now. Oh no. Not like this. I'm here for it. Let's go. Vials, it will zone away. Nice save here on the Liberators. More Liberators moving out. When he's rotating over on the right hand side. Going into Battle Mech. Plus 1 ship weapons on the way. Getting into Macville accelerators as well. He's moving out. And these Liberators are not really getting much damage. They're denying mining time at least. True. A couple of drones going down. 1 Liberator will fall. Clutch transfuse. As we're massing on more Hellions. Oh! And uThermal, he doesn't react in time. 1 Liberator falls. And here come the Corruptors. Again, the Spire is done. Corruptors are amassing and Liberators are being shot down. And again, this was an expensive investment here from uThermal. Liberators are falling. He needs more Cyclones. The Lings, they collapse in. Not the best trade against Hellbats. Hellbats, they hold their own. Ooh, brutal. Oh my god, the Vials! Liberators, they stack. 3 Liberators go down. The Vials are crazy. And uThermal, he is struggling. I do think he had a lot of power. He had a lot of... Oh, he had that surprise factor at the start of the game here, but now things are looking a little bit more bleak. Mixu has gained map control. Is pinning uThermal back. Rotating over. uThermal trying to keep up again. Just going Mass Liberator Hellion. He's got a couple of Cyclones sprinkled in. He's getting there. But Mixu has map control. He can just drone. He can just drone. He can just saturate. He can just take every base he can. joining up to 90 even, Jesus. And Mixu's looking very comfortable. He's very much, I mean, he has map control. Just containing uThermal. And uThermal, he's stuck at home. At this point, he's just stuck at home. Mixu, because of his economy, because of his 90 worker count, he can trade. Like, he can trade it efficiently, he can push in, he can lose some Roach Ravager, pick up a couple of Liberators, and it'll be worth it for Mixu. He can afford to be inefficient. Slings, they collapse in. Here go some Hellions. Roach Ravager pushing forward. Blazer connects, taking down 2 more Liberators. Another one almost goes down. And the Cyclones, they trade decently well here, but lingering reinforcements have arrived, and Mixu still maintains himself. He still pushes in. The mine shots. Good connections. Nice shots at the mines. Biles will connect. Oh, they connect with Liberator and with Cyclones. And these are still better trades for Mixu. He's overwhelming. There's barely an army standing. As a final Liberator falls, there's 2 Cyclones remaining. And Mixu, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken uThermal. Boys are being pulled. I appreciate the build. It was crazy. It's insane. And Mixu, he will shut this down. Takes down all the workers. Breaks the 3rd base. And GG gets called. Mixu will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Mixu, he will claim the series, and with that, he will advance on. A shout to uThermal, though, for bringing something insane to the table. Let's go. GG. GG, well played. As we're getting into our next game, we're getting ready for our semifinals. It is going to be a PvZ here between ShoWTimE and Young Yakov. Here we go. As our players have been patiently waiting for us. And we are jumping in. Okay, they already had their lobby. They were good. They were good to go. Jesus. Jumping right in and spawning in the top right-hand corner here of Torches. We have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels, the #1 seed of the tournament. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. It is Young Yakov. Here we go. We are going to be settling into our PvZ. And again, ShoWTimE, he was able to make his way through Rebellion in the previous quarterfinals. Young Yakov took down Shameless, and now they face off against each other. Game 1 going to be on Torches, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Oh, as I fix up, there we go. As I fix up the player names, and as we settle into our semi-finals. And again, a big shout out to uThermal as well. It was his first time competing in the Tuna Cup in our tournament, so big shout out to uThermal. And again, my only regret is that we didn't get to see Game 1. I wish we were able to embrace Game 1 and see what uThermal brought to the table there. I'm sure something crazy and chaotic, as always. But GG. GG, well played. And with that, we have our PvZ, and I'm a little bit curious by the vetoes here. Torches is one of the most vetoed maps of the map pool, very rarely seen. Oh. Is rarely seen here. But now we get to experience it here and now. The reason for this is because the rush distance by air and by ground is quite short on Torches. Likewise, we have this gold mineral wall that you can mine through, that you can gain access to towards the center of the map. There are gold bases as well on the right and on the left. We have the healing pad as well, which can be another big factor in this matchup. And as a result, we often don't get to experience this map Because I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm excited. Show us what you got. There are certain all-ins where you can mine through these patches early on and try to gain access to your opponent's side of the map, or try to rush into the gold. We've seen that quite often here on Torches. Oh, hello. As Yakov, he does mine through those patches. Okay. Is going to be expanding towards his opponent. Another big feature, if you recall, are these massive tumors. They do expire just before the 8-minute mark. I believe it's like 7:56-ish. They do expire. And they will open up at this center of the map as well. And that does create the center base a little bit more exposed, a little bit more accessible. Till then, hatch gas pool, a Stargate opener out of ShoWTimE, nothing crazy, nothing wild. We're going to be opening up, we're going to be settling in. Just going for the initial Stargate. Likewise, Adept does threaten a shade. As I say, do shade in. Yeah, they shade into the main base, getting one, getting two drones. The Eva chamber was just a little bit too late. Nice damage here from ShoWTimE as it does shade away. Fury barely pulls out, getting a third drone towards the end. Very nice pickoff, and he does scout the third base. So nice value here with the Adept so far. Typically, harassing like this can be quite risky just because your third base is going to be that much more exposed. But back at home, we're just looking to secure ourselves. There we go. Third base now going to be on the way. The Oracles are amassing. The first one is already across the map. The Oracle's moving in. Spores in position. One drone goes down. Just the one. So far, Yakov is keeping up. A lot of Lings did fall earlier, and there's not that many to work with, so ShoWTimE's third base is safe and sound. Yeah, there is no denying it. There's no applying any pressure. So we have 4 Zerglings. Does move out to at least scout. Behind this, we're waiting for our tech of choice, waiting for the Twilight Council, waiting for the Forge. ShoWTimE, if you recall this series against Raynor not too long ago, as with denying mining here at the third, ShoWTimE did show us that he's willing to be hyper aggressive. ShoWTimE, he has a long reputation for being like a defensive wall, you know, Demour if you will, but against Raynor, at least in the EWC qualifiers, ShoWTimE, he was going for a lot of Glaive Adepts. He was going for some hyper aggressive builds, and he did force Raynor to the ace match. Like, it was crazy play there from ShoWTimE, but here, standard play. Forge, Twilight Council, +1 and Blink. Lings, they do hit the third. Going for the pylon, and it's going to be close. At the same time, Adepts, they did move out. That's why they weren't in position. More drones going to be going down. And it's getting out of hand. 4 or 5 drone kills. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, brutal damage. We're still not done. We're shading into the main. Does shade in. More drones going to be falling. Yakov late to respond, late to react. That's going to be 8 drone kills. Adepts here towards the third as well. Yeah, Adepts in every base. And from here, 9 workers fall. And this is critical damage. And ShoWTimE's not done. No, he's not done. Okay. Denies mining. No major pickups. Oracles, they're sharking around. They will get 1 more drone. 10 in total. And Yakov, he has no Zerglings for a counterattack. He has, once again, only 4 Zerglings remaining. He starts at +1. +1 melee. Lair is on the way, but again, just a really, really rocky start for Yakov. Now, the gold base is a way to recover. True, if he can saturate the gold, if he can get up and running, then he can make up for his earlier losses. But that's only if ShoWTimE is passive. And we spoke about how ShoWTimE in recent times has been more of an aggressive player. I mean, we're even seeing it here. 10 drone kills. And here comes the Prism. Yeah, he's moving out. Gateway explosion. Prism's on the way. ShoWTimE is pushing. He's pushing. He's moving out. He's going to be in the face of Yakov. Again, if ShoWTimE was more passive, if he was more defensive, then Yakov could recover, could bounce back. But that should not happen. Not here. Not now. As we're getting up to 8 gates. Limited gases here at the third. Here comes a Prism. Here comes the move out. And we're just knocking down those tumors. Busting down that wall. What do we have to defend? It's going to be Ling Hydra. I believe Yakov did skip Roaches. Yeah, he did skip Roaches, going Ling Hydra instead. But unfortunately, because of all the earlier economic losses, he's been redroning, he's been resaturating. That's why the army is, it's barely there. Let's bring everything together. Stalker's moving in. We have 36 Lings, we have a handful of Queens. Has to be careful here of those ace traps. As a trap, no, does go off, catching everything, not like this. And with that, no Zerglings remaining, the queens are exposed, and he's going for the queens. Does go for the dive, gets one, gets two, is gonna get all four. And ShoWTimE is snowballing out of control, catching out every single queen. Again, a brutal stasis trap. Hydras are building up, but they need that support. The base goes down. Stasis trap does run out. Ooh. Meanwhile, the backup stasis triggered here on Broodlings. Okay. Lings, they collapse in, they can hold on. Hydra's dishing out a little DPS behind this, but he's running out of Lings. Yeah, he's running out of Zerglings. Soul blink control here from ShoWTimE. Does blink well. Takes down the Zerglings, dives on the Hydras, and GG gets called. ShoWTimE, he will overwhelm, as ShoWTimE will take game number 1. Whew. GG. ShoWTimE does take a lead in the series. Again, a solid game out of ShoWTimE. Oh. Again, able to just snowball out of control early on, just mass harassment here with the Adepts, with the Oracles, crippling Young Yakov, and then closing it out with that push, with that move out. I believe he was up to 8 to 9 gateways towards the end. Went for the Prism, went for the kill. Went for the kill. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting ready for game number 2. Here we go. As we're getting into game number 2 here. Game 2 is going to be on Percival. And again, Yakov just had a really rocky start to that game. Hopefully we can tighten things up, bearing in mind as well that the map didn't help young Yakov either, in the sense that it took even less time for the Adepts to get across the map, to get into the bases, and to harass. But now we'll see if young Yakov can stabilize and tighten things up early on. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Percival, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss, representing Sentinels, leading the series 1-0. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, with the blue Zerg player himself down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. It is young Yakov. He's not young anymore. It's crazy. Yeah. As ShoWTimE does move in for a pylon block, does block the expansion, does force the unnatural natural out of Yakov. And from here, we'll see how our players will adapt. In general here, I'm hoping that young Yakov is able to get a better handle of the early game when it comes to the Adept harass, when it comes to the Oracle harass as well. Pressure is on. ShoWTimE ran through Homestead Cup like a bus. He had a really good performance, really good showing at Homestead Cup. It was very impressive. I think what was most exciting to me is that coming into Homestead Cup, Zan was, I would say, the favorite player coming into it. But if you were watching the playoffs, ShoWTimE did beat Zan. He did beat him, if you recall, in the upper bracket. Zan, he came back and beat him in the rematch, but like clearly ShoWTimE showed that, you know, he can have a back and forth against Zan. That both are quite close in skill. So it was very impressive, very impressive. And is definitely looking in form coming into EWC, for sure. Looking in form. Looking in form to take Tuna Cup? Maybe, maybe. Actually, true. Winding it back here, I believe ShoWTimE, he's a bit of a Kong in our tournaments. ShoWTimE has slowly become a regular in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. For those that maybe aren't here over the weekends and not able to tune in to our weekly tournaments on a regular basis, ShoWTimE, I want to say he's come second place 3 times maybe. ShoWTimE, he's had a hard time closing things out in the Tuna Cup, but typically it's players like Bjorn, right? Players like Bjorn that stand in his way. But this week, there's no Bjorn, right? There's no Bjorn in this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup, so ShoWTimE, Oh,
Game paused.
we'll see if he can close it out, as it looks like we do have a bit of a pause here. Hopefully everything's okay, as nothing crazy has been going on. Again, it's been a hatch gas pull into a third base outside of the unnatural natural. We're just kind of settling in. Likewise, ShoWTimE going for a Stargate opener as well, which does get scouted by the Zergling. But outside of that, nothing major. We're just getting into our builds, getting into our openers. And I mean, now that we have a little bit of downtime, just quickly checking the history of Tuna Cup. Double checking here. Okay, ShoWTimE. So he came second place to Bjorn in Tuna Cup number 94. He came second place to Bjorn in Tuna Cup number 87. And those are the only two. Those are the only two here. So yeah, ShoWTimE, he's got 2 second places. He's got 2 second places in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. No first place yet. But again, as I mentioned, typically it's Bjorn that shuts him down. This week, I didn't see no Bjorn. I do see, of course, Mixu and Percival on the other side, and they can definitely threaten him. But we'll see. Could be his first. Let's go. Good to be his first. Likewise, of course, Mixu and Percival, I don't think we've seen them in the finals before. Let me double check that as well. Quickly going through our stats. Again, we've got years of results here.
Game resumed.
Percival, he's also in the history of Sparkling Tuna Cup, Percival, he's only ever gotten to the semis. He's never made it to the finals either. So yeah, we might have a bit of a first for a lot of these players, and partly some of that is partly also because our tournament is on Tuesday for the first time. So some of the other players that typically do compete are not here this week. But here we go. Adepts, they do shade into the main. They do shade in. Drone's going to be going down. This is getting already out of hand here. 4 drones going to be falling. Can we get 5? Oh, barely not. A clutch morph in there out of Yakov does save that final drone, but again, 4 drone kills. Very nice damage from ShoWTimE. And behind this, opening up Phoenix. Okay, it is going to be Oracle into Phoenix, not double Oracle this time. And the goal here, the purpose of this Phoenix opener or this Phoenix follow-up is to deny vision, is to hunt down Overlords. What do you have for a ShoWTimE? What's the plan? Lings, they're poking in. They're going to be deflected. Phoenix does pop out. And the Overlord is going to be chased away. Now, what's scary about the Phoenix in this kind of game state here is that this could just be a standard game. This could be a standard opener, and we have seen ShoWTimE embrace this faster Phoenix a little bit more often than other players. The purpose isn't just to hunt down Overlords. This is also a deterrent of muta play. If young Yakov were to go for Spire and mutas, there would already be Phoenixes and Phoenix production, like, setting up. Just the one Phoenix, but helps with scouting, helps with as a deterrent. Second Oracle has arrived. ShoWTimE's moving out. And he can also lift the Queen. ShoWTimE making his way towards the main. There are 4 Queens to defend. Depths, they head towards the third. Era Chamber does finish up in time. Shades into the main. Bust into the main base. So the Oracles, they come in from behind, going for the stasis. Phoenix as well, looking for damage. And in the end, 7, 8 drone kill. Oh my god, this is getting out of hand, by the way. 8 drones. 8 more workers go down, and before we can embrace the mid-game ShoWTimE, calm down, baby. Yakov just wants to play some StarCraft. He just wants to get a third. He just wants to saturate us. That's going to be another 10 drone kills for 4 Adepts. The Oracle survived. The Phoenix survives as well. Still plenty of energy, finding more drones. Finding more workers. That's going to be 13, 14. Ah, no. 14 worker kills here, and that is critical damage. That's basically a mineral line. Almost a full mineral line has just gone down. Behind this, ShoWTimE is securing himself here on 3 bases. He wants that tuna pack. True. Let's go. Give him the tuna. Where is it? There it is. Beautiful. As Yakov, after all those losses, we have a Baneley Nest on the way. I'm curious to see if we commit to an all-in. Trying to stabilize and macro out of this after so many losses is quite difficult. It's quite a tough ask here to... quite a tough thing to ask of here for Yakov. To try to re-drone and stabilize after all those losses. It's not going to be easy. ShoWTimE does move out. This time he has no prison behind this. He has no way to reinforce except for at his own third. And he wants the fourth. He wants the hatchery. And he's going to get it. There's not enough Zerglings. The base is going to be denied. There's a cancel. Jakub taking bottom right. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE blinks into the main. Blink in. Let's blink in. Nice stasis, nice bait as well. ShoWTimE, he's having fun. He's it's their ShoWTimE. Ay, ay, ay. Still swing away. Behind this, we spoke about it earlier, it is going to be a Spire, so we're headed towards Muta play. I mean, this is one of the ways to recover. If this goes unscouted, Mutas, they can pop off, they can wreak havoc, they can get into a mineral line and deal with the probe line. They can catch out workers. And there is a chance, assuming that the Phoenix doesn't scout, rotating in, getting caught out, taking a lot of hits, and doesn't quite get behind the natural. Now, ShoWTimE, he did scout the Hydras, of course. He saw the Hydras. He's aware of the main composition. I believe he already has Storm. Yep, Storm is complete. High Templar ready. And ShoWTimE is pushing. So on the one hand, yes, the Spire is unscouted. True. He hasn't seen the Spire. He doesn't know that Mutas are coming. But it may not matter, because with the arrival of this Warp Prism, ShoWTimE is going to push, and he's pushing with this, with a Death Ball of an army, with Archons, with Storm, with High Templar, charged out Stalkers, and if Jakub invests too heavily into Mutas, then his ground army is going to struggle, and it's going to suffer, and he won't have an army to defend. Speaking of 10 Mutas, 10 Mutas are on the way, and here comes ShoWTimE. As we're still waiting for that Warp Prism. As the Prism has arrived, ShoWTimE, never mind. Instead of pushing, he's getting ready for the push. He's assuming that his opponent's all inning. So we have stasis traps, cannons, shield batteries. He is a fully walled up. Jesus, he's fully walling up, preparing for a push that isn't coming because Jakub, he's expanding, he's taking gases, he's droning. Mutas are on the way instead. So ShoWTimE, he does have a bit of a misread here. So misread out of ShoWTimE. Mutas, they do bust into the main. Going for the cannon, going for the mineral line. Probes are going down. So far, so good. Catching out 6 workers. 6 probe kills. Oh. Jakub likewise moving in, but remember, ShoWTimE, he's ready for this. He's ready for the ground push. That's the one thing he is ready for. Likewise, more Phoenixes are building up. Lee main rolls in. Ooh, ideally, he does want those High Templar. Doesn't quite make it through. Yeah, storms are brutal. And my big concern as well, depending on how aggressive ShoWTimE is going to be, is that the tech is delayed, right? The Lurker Den is late, the Hive is late. The reason why this tech is late is because of the investment into the Mutas. And Mutas, they've done some damage. True, they did kill some workers. 7 probe kills in total. But I'm still worried about the ShoWTimE's max out. I'm worried about his push. Assuming he does move out. Oh, God. As Mutas are getting caught out. And again, Jakub, he is vulnerable at least until Lurkers kick in, right? Lurker Den is just now finishing. And if he can warp in a wave of Lurkers, he can hold. He can hold, he can survive. Speaking of Sky, we're going to Sky. Never mind. Wait. Settle in, Babby. We're going to be here for a while. We're going to... ShoWTimE, after, you know what? After being aggressive in game 1 and after being aggressive in the first half of this game as well, he's like, you know what? I'm going to calm things down. I have a nickname for a reason. Let's take up. Let's embrace Skytoss. Let's go. But he's still pushing, thankfully. Okay. For a moment, I thought it was going to be passive and defensive, but no, he's moving out. He'll be able to remax with Skytoss as Lurkers have arrived. So far, there are 8 Lurkers. The main counterattack is getting ready. ShoWTimE just rotate, catches a queen. Nice stasis. Stasis goes off the mailings. ShoWTimE does zone away, rotating once again towards that left-hand base. At the same time, Zealot run by does distract Young Yakov. Banelings are rolling in, but Zealots are in position. And Zealots, they will defend. They'll tank the Banelings. Hatchery does go down. The Lurkers are exposed. And he's just diving in. He goes for the mass lift. Lurkers are going down one after the other. It's going to be 4 or 5 Lurker kills. Ay. There's 3 Lurkers left. Lings are being dealt with. And there's still plenty of Phoenixes. He can still lift. And again, 3 Lurkers. That is not going to be enough. More run-bys are moving in. Catching up reinforcements. ShoWTimE. Again, I feel like he can still push in. Now up to 5 Lurkers. And now with 5, it's going to be a little bit more risky here. Yeah, ShoWTimE, he pokes forward. Thinks better of it. Pulls away. Tempest production has begun. Oh! Did a mispathing. Catching up 2 Archons. Look at these stasis traps. As ShoWTimE backs off. He backs off from here. You got building up Tempest, building up his mothership, getting into Skytos, perfecting his army. And Yakov, he's 1 step behind. He's still 1 step behind at this point. I'm impressive that he's been able to make it this far and been able to max out despite the early game. But the problem is, tech-wise, he needs that Spire. I say that he actually already has one. True. Second Spire is on the way. Let's go. From here, we can go into double upgrades in towards Corruptors. Cruising towards the main. Big rotation on left-hand side. ShoWTimE not quite in position. Lurkers are moving in. Let's go. Dives on the mothership. Mothership will barely get away. Mothership does survive, but the mineral line does not. Yeah, 16 probe kills, not bad. Phoenix as they push forward. A Lurker's going to be going down, and no detection there for Yakov, and at the same time, the Prism does not quite get into the main. But it's just outside. Takes down the Lurkers. Young Yakov, he's on the run. Down to 2 Lurkers. Uh-oh. Yeah, 2 Lurkers left, down to 1. 1 Lurker remaining. And the Prism is here. Yeah, the Prism is already here to reinforce. ShoWTimE can keep pushing. Again, there's 1 Lurker to defend. There's 6 more in production. The High Templar, they're ready. They're plenty of energy. Final Lurker goes down. Oh! Banelings, they don't quite connect. Storms pop up, Lurkers are denied. And ShoWTimE, he's done it. He has broken through. And again, on one hand, yes, Yakov, he was able to somewhat stabilize and somewhat max out, but tech-wise, he was behind. Tech-wise, he was just 1 step behind. Couldn't quite leverage it. The meter play was unfortunately not as successful as he wanted. And storms are popping up. GG gets called. ShoWTimE will overwhelm, and ShoWTimE will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. ShoWTimE, he will claim the series, he will advance on. Despite that, shout out to Young Yakov here for making a game out of it, especially game 2. Like, game 1 was more one-sided, for sure. Game 1 was more one-sided, game 1 was more intense. Here in game 2, Young Yakov had a rough start, but he was able to max out. He was able to get an economy. Unfortunately, again, because of the meter play, he was a little bit later to get into Lurkers, and even then, by the time he got into Lurkers, because it was that much more delayed, we did see that ShoWTimE, he was already embracing Skytos. He was already getting ready for Tempest as a transition as well. So again, Yakov, he was just 1 step behind in terms of that tech, and he didn't really have much map control either. When ShoWTimE decided to push, Yakov could not stop him. No shot. Could not stop that army. And with that, GG. GG, well played. That leads us here into our next game. That leads us into our next series. Let's catch up on the bracket. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. Let's go. Okay, from the top, exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, and we do have a ShoWTimE advancing on to those finals. He does take down Young Yakov here, 2-0. Scrolling down, we had Mixu taking down uThermal, and we had Percival taking down Nickeract, and we have a lower semi. It's going to be a best of 3 ZVT between Mixu and Percival. Let's go. Let us go. Vetoes are underway. Vetoes are underway. And we will soon jump in. As you mentioned, ShoWTimE, of course, he is one of the players that is qualified for the Esports World Cup, so he has been on that grind. He's been preparing, training, getting ready, and we are getting a glimpse of what he has to offer coming into EWC. As a reminder, the Esports World Cup is in 2 weeks. Is in 2 weeks' time. I think just over to like 2 weeks and like an hour or something. So it's right around the corner. Players, they have to make use of that time well here, wisely, when it comes to practicing, preparing, getting ready. As we are likewise setting up for our own semis. Likewise, before the finals, we're also going to be hosting the raffle. There's going to be a random raffle conducted as well. Of course, we do have a participation raffle for the players, not for the viewers. It is for the players instead. Basically, all the players that are competing tonight do have an equal chance to earn 5 extra USD. Nothing major, nothing too massive, but just a nice way to spread the love and to spread the support to all those that compete. Players instead. Here we go. Just catching up. Yaku did a great job holding despite the terrible start. For sure, for sure. Like, again, very impressive that he was able to stabilize the way that he did. Able to max out. For sure. Beyonce's at the gym getting swole. He has been working out quite a lot recently, for sure, for sure. Impact did inspire him. I remember messaging Bjorn, this was a couple of months ago at this point when he was first getting into it. I was like, yo, you going to the gym regularly now? He's like, yes, yes. And I was like, you know, Impact? He's like, oh, Impact. No, no, he's not a human. He's a monster. It's like, true, true. But he did say one day, greater than Impact. Ah, insane. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into our fresh series and spawning in the bottom hand corner of Ley Lines. We have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. Representing Lem, it is Mixu. The Mlem boys, and spawning in the top right hand corner we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our TVZ. And coming into this here, I mean, it's great to see more of Percival is what I will say. For those who don't know, Percival, he's been around for quite some time. He actually retired last year. He did retire. He stepped away from the game. He, I believe, went to the military as well. But he came back at the end of last year. And at the time, he didn't really have many expectations for himself. I remember he was being very humble. He was like, oh, no, yeah, I'm just playing for fun. Like, I'm starting to stream again. This was like last year, like November, December. You know, like he's like, yeah, I don't really intend to commit as hard as I did previously, you know, pre-military, I should say, and just playing more, like, again, for fun. Little did we all know that he would then commit hard, and he started streaming on almost on a daily basis, started improving quite a lot as well, and he even traveled to DreamHack Dallas. He went to the Americas. He was a part of DreamHack Dallas as well. I believe competing at a big offline event like that for the first time. So really cool to see Percival taking part and competing in that event. And Percival, he has been getting some really good results in recent times. Getting better and better results here. So despite initially not really wanting to devote as much time, like that in the end, you're never really going. Dove back headfirst into StarCraft. Aye, aye, aye. And Percival's been very active over the past 6 months. For now though, Hatchcast will stand there open out of Mixu. Initial Reaper does move out across the map. And And we're calming down. Now, last time we embraced the ZBT here, we were casting uThermal. He went for a 1-1-1 into Fusion Core, and he rushed into Liberator range, which was crazy. I don't expect that here. As much as I love uThermal, I don't expect to see that here from Percival. I expect a more standard opener. Third TC into bio setup. Yeah, there it is. Third TC is on the way. So standard economic build here by Percival. No crazy rush into Liberator range. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So here comes the add-on swap into Reactor Hellion production. We're expecting a Tech Lab here into potentially an add-on swap into a Hellion Banshee. And we'll see how Mixu does respond. I know that Mixu, he was a bit of a Roach boy for a while when it comes to Roach-based openers in towards a Lingbane Roach Ravager. But of course, you know, times have changed, meta has shifted. We've seen an uptick, an upswing in players going and rushing into Hive and rushing into Ultras. So we'll see. Hellions are amassing. There's the add-on swap into Banshee. So Banshee production has begun. And Percival, he will soon be moving out. So there is Cloak. As things that do slip in, I believe Mixu does get a full scout of main. Nicely done. He does get eyes on the researching Cloak and on the tech of choice. So he's aware of the Cloak Banshees. Queens are setting up. And so far, Mixu is keeping up with Percival. Spores are on the way. Fourth base is being taken. Banshees, they do arrive at the fourth, and Mixu is going to have to respond to this. Yeah, Queens are rotating. That does create an opening here for the Hellions. Mixu has to be careful. Does poke here, the base is getting very low. And more Hellions arriving. Does focus on the expansion, and he will force a cancel. Oh my god, just in time. Whew. Does force a cancel. Lings do get roasted. And Mixu, the fourth base, is denied. Massive pick off here. Behind this, going into Lingbane. The Nest is on the way. Eva Chamber as well. Mixu forces a double expand. He needs one of these bases to get up and running. Does need a fourth. Meanwhile, Percival claiming his third. Claiming his third base, rotating once again. Lings are keeping up. Banshees, they hit the northern fourth. Nice thing run by. Gets an SCV. Lings likewise, they get us around here on the Hellions. Yeah, nice lockdown. Shuts down the Hellions, all going to be cleaned up. Banshees move in, they get 2 drone kills, but Mixu, he does shut down the Hellions and he will defend. He will hold. Hold on. Nice control by Percival. Lings, they go for the counterattack. They don't quite get into the mineral line. Percival does hold. Mixu getting a little bit too excited. These Banshees getting 6 drones. Nice pickles here by Percival. Does get 6 workers. Mixu still settling into Lingbane. Mixu is stabilizing, redroning. The creep is looking decent, especially towards the top side of the map. Towards the right hand side, a little bit lesser here, which is where Percival does arrive. Going for the double drop. Yes, Tim. 1-1 is about to kick in. Once again, going for the expansion. But this time, Mixu's ready. I say he's ready. Doesn't quite have any speed, but he does force a pickup. Whew. Does defend. So Mixu is holding on behind this. I was curious to see if Mixu was going to go and tech up into Hive, but the answer is no. He's going for Hydras. So Lingbane, Hydra, a standard composition here by Mixu. He's not being too cheeky. He's not rushing into Hive or rushing into Ultras. Playing straight up. Meanwhile, Percival, he throws down 3 more Raxes. He's 8 Raxing. He's going for the 3-base all-in. Tanks have arrived. Mixu's trying to engage, but he's overextending. A big overextension. The Linkbane's being shut down, and Mixu, he's in danger. He's in trouble. And Marines, they stim in. That was a lot of Linkbane being thrown away. And Percival, he's snubbling out of control. He's breaking through, takes out all the queens, pushes into the 4th base. And Mixu, he cannot stop this. He cannot stop this, not anymore. At the same time, Banshees, they hit the null in 4th. Hatchery is going to go down. And behind this, Percival is just rallying. He's just rallying in. He's just going for the kill. Again, he is going for a 3-base all-in. He's 8 Raxing. Lings, they catch some reinforcements. Not bad. And they get Marines. They get a tank. Nicely done. Mixu trying to slow Percival down. But again, one bad fight can cost you the game here. And Percival, he's still not stopping. Yeah, takes care of all the army. The Lings, the Bailings, and the Hydras as well. And he's going for the 3rd. He's going for another base. Percival, he stands. And he wins. He will get another expansion. Mixu knocked down to 3 bases. No mining, no saturation, no economy. Mixu, he's broke. And the rally continues. The Banshees are still alive. The Banshees have been so annoying. 11 drone kills. Oh. Percival caught out a little bit here. He is getting caught out. Better fight for Mixu. Pings up some Marines, gets on top of the tank. But remember, this was the first army, and GG gets called as another wave comes in, and Percival, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, Percival. He does claim it. Again, unfortunately, Mixu, he did take that first fight off of Creep. He took that first fight off of Creep. He engaged into the tanks, and he bled out so much Lingbane. As soon as that fight went the way of Percival, he could stim in. He could stim onto Creep. He could stim onto the expansion and break the 4th base. If Mixu had preserved his army, he could have bought time. He could have danced with the army, had like a bit of a back and forth there, bought more time for more Lings, more Bailings, pulled off a defense. It was still going to be a tough hold just because Mixu did already lose his 4th base earlier. Like, it was a really rough setup coming into the mid game. But GG. GG, well played. Percival takes game 1. And now we're getting into game number 2. And we'll see if Mixu can recover. As we're going to be loading into a much larger map in the map pool. Up next, we're going to be loading into Tokamak. I do want to say that this will favor Mixu a little bit more. He's going to have more breathing room here on Tokamak. It is a larger map, more defendable bases. But we'll see if Percival goes for the same style. We'll see if he goes for another 8 racks. Oh boy. We shall see. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this and force the ace match. The pressure is on. It is Mixu. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. Oh, let's go. As we're moving out with not just one, with 2 SCVs. Now, what I was going to say is that welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is a larger map, longer rush distance by ground, more defendable bases. We often see longer and later games. I was going to be favoring Mixu when it comes to stabilizing on a 4-base economy here, and he will have an easier time defending. But that's why we're just going for not just 2, 3 SCVs. Proxy, 3 racks. I mean, also, because the map is so large, there's more places, I should say, to proxy. True, more places to proxy. The first overlord does move out. The second one should be staying back at home to keep an eye on the bunkers. And we'll see if Percival can break through. Oh boy. As the overlord is going to stick here, or is going to stick around at the natural. It is risky to try to move out and scout with your second overlord, but because of the placement of the second overlord, he will see the SCVs and the bunkers as they're placed outside of the base. Again, this is a bunker rush. So 3 racks bunker rush here from Percival. This is quite committed. And we'll see how Mixu responds. We'll also see Percival's able to hide this as well. What I mean by that is that you can intentionally keep your third SCV back, only reveal 2, and force your opponent to pull the boys. And kite back and overwhelm the drones and just take it from there. And yeah, here we go. 2 SCVs are moving out. And you can see the third SCV is intentionally kept back. So cheeky move here by Percival, making it look like a proxy 2 racks, when really it's a proxy 3 racks. SCVs are revealed, bunkers are on the way. And Mixu, how does he respond? Link production has begun. Overlord will be eventually hunted down. As it does buy more time. There we go. The boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. Marines just now revealing themselves. One SCV gets around it. Oh no! It does get away. And he does focus on the bunker. Bunker does fall. It's close, but it should go down. There we go. Does go down. Marines are rallying in. Another bunker's on the way. But so far, Mixu didn't overreact. But the Queen is taking a lot of damage, taking a lot of hits. Second Queen has arrived. Starts stepping in, takes out the Queen. Oh god, barely pulls away. But drones are falling. Yeah, drones are falling. This is getting out of hand. There's no spine behind this. Bunker is cancelled. Percival coming out. Let's go. He pulls the boys, baby. Let's go. He does pull the boys. They're spotted by the Overlord, though. Mixu knows. Mixu, he's aware of it. Oh, my God. Queen does go down. Chance use does buy some time. The boys are being pulled. Mixu, he's trying to collapse on this army before the SCVs arrive. Yeah, it's here. It's now or never for Mixu. The boys are pulled. Nice kiting here by Percival. The SCVs are here. And we're down to how many? Down to 4 lings. Yeah, 4 Zerglings left. Spinecrawler in the main. And Percival, he has too much. Percival, he has too much here. He gets on top of the Queen. Once again, nice kiting. Takes down the Queen. And Mixu, he will lose everything here. He'll lose every single drone. He has 1 Spinecrawler in the main. GG gets called. And Percival, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Percival, he will claim the series. He will take it. Again, a cheeky build here by Percival, keeping his third SCV hidden for a very, very long time. As a result, Mixu, he was late to morph in the Spinecrawler. As you saw, the Spinecrawler was done at the end of the game by the time the game was already over there. Again, Percival, he was that much more committed, that much more all-in. And Mixu, he had a bit of a more tame response as he wasn't fully aware of how many Raxes there were. Now committed, Percival was. GG. GG well played with that. Percival, he does advance on. My condolences to Mixu. He did an amazing job making it this far into the semis. But his tournament run will end here and now, and we are getting ready for the grand finals. So the grand finale is here, getting into game 5, getting into Percival versus ShoWTimE. Let's go. Let us go. Vetoes are going to be underway. And before we can embrace those vetoes, before we can embrace our next matchup here, we have a raffle. It is raffle time. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We are hopping on over. And if you're in the chat, if you're maybe watching for the first time, welcome to Sparkling Tuna Cup. Again, this is a tournament that we've been running for a very, very long time. I think we started back in 2021. It's been a couple of years. Let me just double check. Sorry, 2022, that's it. So February of 2022. So we've been running this event for a very long time. On and off, there's been some hiatuses. True. There have been some hiatuses here and there. But overall, we have been running this on a regular basis. And despite how long we've been running it, we do have a random raffle every single week. This is just a way to spread the love and to spread the support to some of the other players. Basically, every player that competed here tonight does have an equal chance to earn some extra prize money here. Nothing major, 5 USD. 5 USD here. Just a nice way to kind of spread the love and to spread the prize pool. Here we go. So we are setting up. We are getting ready. Okay, so from the top, bam, beautiful. We have that random raffle. We have 18 players. We have 18 eligible players this week, and one of them walks away a little bit richer. Now, again, even a player in the finals like ShoWTimE or Percival can win this raffle, or a player that was knocked out in the first round as well. A player like Dave Latos or a player like Ateshi as well, all have an equivalent chance. Let's go. So this week the winner of the random raffle. Oh. This week the winner is. God damn it. The winner is uThermal. Mike Slappy Pappy. Congratulations! Does walk away with 5 USD. We were featuring him earlier a little bit. Unfortunately, if you remember, we weren't able to broadcast game 1 between uThermal and Mixu, but don't think he needs it, but congratulations, does win the random raffle. As a random player, quite fitting here. Shout out to Tebs as a runner-up. I see Ragnar, Ledlix, Percival, and Ateshi down there as well. Congratulations. uThermal. Aye. Let's go. As Vidas are done and we're jumping into our next game, hashtag rigged in the chat, of course. Always. Hashtag rigged. Shaking my head. As uThermal does walk away with some prize money here, and we are jumping into our grand finals, that best of 5. Also, before we get ahead of ourselves, if you want to support the Sparkling Tuna Cup, you can actually see our current Patreon goal just under the bracket. Bam, you can see it down there. We currently earn 456 USD per month via Patreon. Our goal is at 500, and our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments. 100% of the money on Patreon goes towards our tournaments. It goes towards Sea Duckling Open, Master Swan Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. So if you want to help support our tournaments, if you want to help us grow the prize pool for these tournaments, then Patreon is the place to be. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. Otherwise, we're jumping into our best of 5, into our grand finals. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom 10 corner of ley lines, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats. Coming into this, I will say that ShoWTimE is favored, of course. I mean, he is going to be a part of the Esports World Cup. He's one of the best players in the world. At the same time, Percival has been improving a lot, and I will say that Percival has been causing upsets in PvT. True, he has been taking maps over some big names in the Protoss versus Terran matchup, typically with aggressive builds. Like, I expect this to be a bit of a shorter series. I'm feeling a lot of 2-base all-ins in this series. No boy. Yo, you thought you saw some cheese earlier against Mixu? Nah. Ain't seen nothing yet. Oh boy. For now, double gas opener into a faster factory. Delayed TC out of Percival. Likewise, ShoWTimE does scout, does confirm the timing of the factory. He knows. He is aware. See the reactions in the chat. Hashtag rigged. Exactly. No. Ragnar was so close as well. 3rd place, back to 3rd place. Aye. But for now, we are going to be setting up. Technically, this can lead into an all-in, into a 1-base all-in, but we should be seeing a natural base behind this, a command center from the side of Percival. As the initial Reaper does move out. And Percival will expand. Does claim his natural. Reaper into the main. It's going to be a Stargate open out of ShoWTimE. Okay, bold move. Does go for the Stargate. With that, it is going to be scattered immediately here by Percival. Percival, he's aware. He does know. Does want the Stargate. From here, pulls away. Percival, after the opener, going for a reactor on that Rax. Tech Lab straight on the factory. Initially opening up double Reaper Hellion. With this, hoping for economic damage. We'll see if he can break through. We'll see if he can get into a mineral line. Oh. Does try to rush past. Going for the Adept. You know, shield battery. The shield battery Adept will go down. And from here, it goes into the mineral line. Gets 1 and gets 2 probes. One so far. Oh, doesn't quite get the second. Very nice KDA charges. Oh my god. Just knocking that Adept around. It takes down 3 probes. Very nice control. And he gets another probe in the main. 4 probe kills. Aye. Dives further in. Confirms no Phoenixes. Confirms Oracle. Confirms the Oracle is on the way. Reaper does make it out. Rotates back to the low ground. Going for another probe. Shouldn't quite get one. It's finally going to go down. But again, crazy damage here from Percival. Impressive early game. From here, getting to his own 1-1-1 into drop play. Interesting. Opening up with Marine Cyclone into drop, and we'll see if he can catch out the Oracle. Does spot it.
Command center.
Does spots. Nice revelation. Oracle is zoned away. Phoenixes are amassing behind this. Now, the reason why I did say that, or I did mention that going for a Stargate opener is quite a bold move is because you are vulnerable to all-ins. Phoenixes, they can do a great job when it comes to picking off some key units and lifting key units. But against an all-in where you pull the boys, they can struggle. As Percival, he is building up more Cyclones, throwing down extra Raxes. Still active with that drop. Still looking for a way in. Oh! Force abuse away. A nice movement with his reinforcements. Does zone away the Phoenix. Oh, it does get picked up. And it can ShoWTimE shut down those Cyclones. Oh my god, the pickup micro there. We'll lose one. One Cyclone goes down, the other is barely saved. And Percival, he has to pull out. And from here, he has to back off. Again, very risky moves here from Percival. Barely gets away. At the same time, Oracle in towards the main. Nothing in position. The Cyclones are out on the map. And SCVs will go down. Sapphire gets 1, 2, 3 SCV kills. Nice damage here by ShoWTimE. Getting a 4th SCV. And behind this, taking up in towards Colossus. So again, kind of like an old school style here from ShoWTimE going Phoenix Colossus. Does cut Phoenixes early though at 3, so only 3 Phoenixes. Quite greedy. The ground army here is lacking. Remember, there's no blink, there's no charge. Getting the safety immortal and trying to survive until Colossus. Meanwhile, Percival, he's forced to back off. When it comes to his initial early game, it was quite successful when it came to his damage, but the Cyclone Harass, less so. Didn't really achieve too much. As he did lose one of the Cyclones. For now, building up into Stim, Combat Shields, he does have a 3-1-1 setup. Right now, we're waiting to see if he throws down 2 more Raxes. Does he throw down extra Raxes, or does he get a 3rd CC? Based on, historically, Percival's playstyle, I'm leaning towards more Raxes, but we'll see. He doesn't often get into the mid-game in this matchup, but not impossible. But now he does move out. The other scary thing here is that Percival, he did see the Immortal. He's not aware of the Bay. But he's pushing forward. Does shut down the Stasis. Stim is not yet done. Still needs a little bit more time. Does start down another Stasis trap. Nice big goes here by Percival. Mirror pulls away. Pulls away, he rotates. Nice missile. Anti-armor missile does go off. And he can try to break through. He's going for it. Does get up the ramp. Stim is not done. Stim is complete. From here, does Stim forward. Yo, we got the solos to defend. A nice pick up here on the Cyclones. And the Colossus is holding. Yeah, the Colossus does hold on. ShoWTimE will shut this down. Takes down the Marines. Get a very methodical engagement there from ShoWTimE. Very careful engage. Forces back the army. ShoWTimE trades well. And Percival, he expands. 3rd CC. 3rd CC on location. It's a later expansion by Percival, but he's going for it. He's still being active. Trying to keep ShoWTimE busy. From here, oh. Let's move in. Once again, Percival just poking, prodding. We'll see if he can deny the 4th base. So he's rotating over. ShoWTimE is keeping up. Once again, another anti-armor missile does go up. But there are 3 Colossus. They don't care about the anti-armor missile at all. Yeah, not a care in the world. Massive swipes going off on the army. Oh, Raven goes down. Percival tries to stim in, but this is not the fight to take. Not at all. Yeah, it does get punished. My shot goes off. There are some Vikings coming in to reinforce. But the Stalkers, they arrive just in time. ShoWTimE is holding. He is holding on. Percival rotating over. Now gets eyes on the fourth base, but at this point you cannot deny it. Vikings being targeted down, forcing friendly fire as well. Yeah, and Percival, he has to get the hell out of here. He's being overwhelmed. He bled out far too much, and ShoWTimE is getting out of hand. He's getting out of control. There it is. GG as ShoWTimE, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. On the one hand, yes, Percival, he was expanding, he was getting a third base, but he was so aggressive regardless. He was so committed, pushing nonstop into the army, but it wasn't worth it. It was bleeding out too much. Despite the anti-armor missiles, he never got on top of the Colossus. They were just getting so much free damage on the army, and Percival, he was just running out of steam. He was running out of army, running out of marines, running out of everything. GG. GG, well played. With that, ShoWTimE does overwhelm, and ShoWTimE takes the lead in the series. Let's go. Let's go. So now we're getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into Pylon. We now go into one of these smaller maps in the map pool, short rush distance by ground. And also exposed bases. So we are getting in. Here we expect something more committed out of Percival, but we'll see. We'll see. See how hard he commits. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of a Pylon, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels, leading the series 1-0. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player from South Korea, representing Team Little Fairy. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Percival. We go. Was this org started by Crank? No. But our name is a tribute to Crank. Este J1 Choi, papi. Este J1 Choi. But yes, as Kuro is responding in the chat, we initially were fans of Crank. I should say we all kind of met in Crank's Discord server. Back in the day, Crank, he used to... Sorry, for some context, Crank J1 Choi, he was a Korean Protoss player back in the day. He was on Axiom. He was competing back in 2013, 2014. He was an active player. He used to stream in English. He has really good English. He used to stream in English as well. And a lot of us, we all kind of met in this Discord. We were all fans of Crank as well. We all rallied behind as well, of course. Eventually, Crank, he did make the decision to stop streaming in English. He did stop streaming, and he started to focus on the Korean side of things. So he started streaming in Korean and casting in Korean, and to the point where nowadays I would say he's the biggest Korean caster, right? Like it's been quite successful. He's like the equivalent of like a Wardy or like a Loco, or like I guess a Winter. He's like that equivalent amongst the Koreans, I should say. So he's become a big personality in Korea. But we, because we were his English fans, we're kind of like, kind of fallen by the wayside. We did decide to start organizing things ourselves. So we started to do our own parts. We decided to run our own tournaments, start our own channel, and start making content. And our name is kind of like a tribute to Crank. Crank, his mascot back in the day was a duckling. He used to have a little duckling plushie, and of course his name was Crank. So we called ourselves the Cranky Ducklings. Cranky Ducklings, to kind of pay tribute to Crank, because that's where we all kind of started. That's where we all met. And of course, it always feels good whenever we cast an event that Crank is also casting. It's like, let's go. It's been quite a number of years at this point, but yeah, we do catch up from time to time, which is nice. Both going down our own paths, but still in StarCraft, of course. As Adept has arrived, it takes down the initial SCV. Nice pick off here by ShoWTimE. Winding it back here, it was an economic opener. It was a Rax Expand single gas opener out of Percival, delayed factory this time. So a very different approach out of our Terran player. And as a result, just because we have delayed gases, we did open up Marine, not Reaper. So no Reaper, which means no harassment. No harassment across the map. I would say that last game, Percival, he had some really impressive Reaper control and Reaper micro, but that won't be present here. Not in game 2. Not in game 2. Crank is casting RSL. Yes. And he casts everything. Yeah, we started our channel back in 2017, I want to say. Like, towards the end of 2017, so it's been what, 8 years? I think coming up on 8 years of CranKy Ducklings. Let's go, let's go. But now there's ShoWTimE does go for more economic start as well. He does go 2-gate blink into a third base. Third gateway is also on the way. Percival now moving out. This is going to be a stimless push, bear that in mind. No stim, no combat shields, vanilla marines. And he's getting caught out ahead of time. Oh, a bit of a brutal start. That's 3 marines already going down. Now he's pushing in. Now he has a cyclone. That's the backbone of the army. But he's let out so many marines already. And he's forced back. From here, he's forced back. ShoWTimE, he gets away with his third base. ShoWTimE looking comfortable. First, he has to back up. Behind this, building up his tanks, working towards Liberator. Stim now has begun. Again, it was a cheese start here by Percival, but he got caught out. Got caught out ahead of time. Has to pull away. And ShoWTimE contains. He's going to be containing Percival. He shouldn't push in, especially with the tanks amassing. Blink is done. There's only one tank. True, there's an opening. No shot. He can go for Stim. He could go for Stim and goes for the dive. Stim is under fire. He shouldn't get it though. It's going to be close. Oh, 2 more volleys. Una más. He gets it. Denies Stim. Brutal pick up here. 1 Stalker goes down, but that is worth it here. That is worth it for ShoWTimE. Ay, ay, ay. Percival, he has to float back. He has to rebuild the tech lab. And Stim is heavily delayed. Again, Percival, he wasn't barely not quite in position. Barely not in time. And this is just going to give ShoWTimE so much more freedom here to probe. To probe, to saturate, to work towards upgrades, to tech up, to get a 4th expansion. It means the move out is that much later for Percival. Now, because of the delay, oh, do you see what I see? 2 more maxes. If you remember, this is something we were looking for in the last game. If you remember, in game 1, we were like, okay, we're waiting for 2 more maxes or a 3rd CC. And Percival, he went for a 3rd CC. Here, 2 maxes. This looks like a 2-base win. It's going to be delayed, though, because of delayed stim, but this looks hyper aggressive, and ShoWTimE sees everything. He sees all the maxes, he sees the setup, he's aware. It's going to be on ShoWTimE to slow this down, and it's going to be on ShoWTimE to make sure he isn't too greedy. Like, we need to build up the army. So claiming a 4th base is not like on the table here. It's not in the cards. We have to calm down. We have the Bay on the way for Colossus. Charge almost done. +1 is almost done. It's on ShoWTimE to get ready. There's the salvage. There's the unsiege. And Percival, he will soon move out. He might pull the boys with this. And ShoWTimE, he does pull the move out. He does have spotted pylons here for drop play. Percival rotates towards left-hand side. ShoWTimE getting ready for a run-by. Eyes are on the boys. Ooh, the Observer gets caught. Nice catch. And do we send it? There he does. Let's go. Does pull the boys. As soon as the Observer goes down, he commits. At the same time, Zelzay will catch reinforcements. ShoWTimE trying to slow this down. The first Colossus is still on the way. He has one. He has 1 Colossus. Nice catch here on the Marauders. Delaying Percival. The boys have arrived, and there's 1 Colossus on the high ground. There's a couple of sentries, a couple of force fields. It's all or nothing here for ShoWTimE. Oh, can he hold on? Can he survive? Likewise, can Percival break through? Tanks through siege. Colossus taking a lot of volleys, taking a lot of hits here. The Vikings are going ham. Colossus zoned away. He's pushing towards the natural, pushing towards the robo. Colossus does overextend, has to pull back. Yeah, does pull away. A bit of an awkward engage here from ShoWTimE. Does take down one of the tanks. Percival, he's gaining ground. Oh, Zealots trickling from behind. Miscontrol here from ShoWTimE. Throwing away Zealots. Yeah, Zealots are thrown away, but now he's got 2 Colossus. Now he collapses in. Yeah, he breaks on through. Takes out 1 tank, takes out the other. And ShoWTimE, he defends. He defends. He breaks through the army. Was looking a little bit dicey there. I say that. Here comes another tank. Colossus getting very low. Oh, the Colossus is so low. Marines are going down. Nice kiting here from ShoWTimE. One Colossus goes down, but there's nothing left. There's nothing left. There's one Marauder. There's one tank. And ShoWTimE, he holds. Cleans up the army. GG. ShoWTimE, he will survive the all-in. He will take a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. GG. Well played. Again, an intense game here, but a really crucial, really critical part here, of course, is that ShoWTimE, he saw the all-in well ahead of time. As we mentioned, when the Observer got into the main base, when he saw all the Raxes, that was the first big tell that an all-in was on the table. That an all-in was most likely coming across the map, so that let ShoWTimE know to get ready here back at home with his warpins, with his setup, with his gateways as well. He was able to confirm the move out. He didn't quite get eyes on the boys being pulled, but Zelste came in from behind to delay the reinforcements as well. So again, ShoWTimE had plenty of time to prepare, plenty of time to get ready, and with that, GG. GG will say, well played. It was still very intense. It was still quite intense, and we saw that Percival, he was able to catch some Zealots, he was able to get one of the Colossus, but only one, and it barely was not enough. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3. I'm hoping for a back and forth, I'm hoping for a series, but alas, our player here is one game away from becoming this week's champion. For the first time as well, as spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have our German Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Sentinels, leading the series 2-0. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy, down in the series, going for the proxy. It is Percival. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. Might have done it with earlier Stim. True. That's also something to bear in mind as well that I did gloss over, but the fact that ShoWTimE delayed Stim also means that the all-in was delayed as well, right? Like, there's just so much that went in favor of ShoWTimE when it came to the scouting, when it came to the counterattack, when it came to the denial of Stim. But here we go. Percival, he does throw down the initial racks. ShoWTimE does slip into the main, and he will confirm that the Rax is missing. Now, what's important here is that there's only one Rax. There's no second Rax here. Gases are being taken, and based on this location, it just looks like a Reaper into a standard follow-up here. We could go for a Tech Lab into Proxy Marauder, I suppose, but nah, just Reaper. Okay, so Percival, this is a fake out. This is not committed. This is not an all-in. This is a fake out designed to try to force an overreaction out of ShoWTimE. We'll see if he can force that overreaction. But in the chat, it's been 8. We started in May. Oh, there you go. Our first tournament was in October. Yeah. So we formed the CranKy Ducklings in May of 2017. Our first tournament was in October. Crazy. Here we go. Reaper does slip in across the map, does hit the main. Oh, does hit the main base. And we'll be able to potentially get a worker kill. So far, nice controlling by ShoWTimE, does pull his weakened workers away. Ooh, and he will shut down the first Reaper. Ay, does not get anything for it. 0 probe kills, 0 probe damage. ShoWTimE, he defends, and with that, ShoWTimE, he holds. Defends nicely here, the Rax is floating back. Percival, he does catch at least one probe out on the map. But last ShoWTimE, he's secure. He's fully walled up here at the Reaper Cliff. Does move out with the hallucination, and ShoWTimE, he will soon confirm that his opponent is expanding. That's all he needs to know. That's all he needs to find out here is the timing of the expansion and the follow-up tech of choice as well. Hallucination dives in, confirms the setup, confirms that, of course, Percival is expanding, and that we do have a Cyclone on the way. Once again, Percival setting up for drop play. I see Este Milky Cow in the chat. When are you playing in the Tuna Cup? Este Milky Cow. Aye. We need some milk on the tuna. Oh, no. So now here we go. We are moving out. Percival does go for his drop. A bit of a kitchen sink here. We have a Cyclone, Hellion, and a Reaper. And we'll see what he can get done. Behind this, we have our tech of choice at Twilight Council into Blink. So standard opener here out of ShoWTimE, getting into his own 3-gate setup. 3-gate Blink out of ShoWTimE. Drop into the main. Will threaten the Stalkers. Nice damage on one, force to pick up, and does barely save the Cyclone. Oh, as he's going for a little bit more damage. Risky maneuver here. Hellion goes down, Reaper as well. Does get 2 probes towards the end. Does get some damage here, but now he's pinned back. Is pinned back. Back at home, building up his bio, working towards Stim. This time Stim will finish. I will say that. This time it should not be denied. We do see ShoWTimE building up towards Colossus. No Storm. Colossus on the horizon. Getting his 3rd base. And once again from the side of Percival, we're keeping our eyes open here for extra Raxes. Does he throw down extra Raxes and try to go for an all-in? Does he get a 3rd CC and build up towards the mid-game? Oh, as the Liberator's getting called out. Oh, the Liberator goes down as well. That was a big investment. Gets 1 probe. Yeah, just a really rough start here for Percival. As ShoWTimE, he's just been knocking him down time and time again. Yes, they're ShoWTimE. It's pretty good. He's all over Percival. Likewise, the Observer moves in, gets eyes on whether or not there's going to be a move out. Does get eyes on the army. As we have 2 tanks so far. Here comes the Unsiege. 3rd tank is on the way. Percival committing a little bit harder. So he does break out. And what are we doing? We're pulling the boys. Let's go. We're pulling the boys here. And now this is going to be an earlier push. True. This is going to be an earlier push, an earlier move out. Back at home, we have 1 Colossus to defend. We don't really have that much on the ground. Charge about to finish. ShoWTimE trying to slow him down. Force fields are coming in. He's holding onto those force fields. Marines they stem forward. Does get 1, does get 2 force fields. Gets slows down the army. Buying more time. Again, the second Colossus is almost out. Nice clutch force field. And tanks do siege, but again, he's just slowing down the push, slowing down Percival. Here comes the second Colossus. Shield batteries on the way. Sorry, I should say backup pylon. As the Robo is somewhat exposed. Tanks are moving in, getting on top of the Robo. And we'll see if he can knock it down. But again, there's just not much support here. Yeah, 3rd tank is on siege. He goes for the dive, and the tanks are going down. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets all 3 tanks. And ShoWTimE, he will completely shut this down. GG, ShoWTimE, he will claim the series 3-0. He will shut down the all-in. And ShoWTimE will become this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. Congratulations here to ShoWTimE. As we mentioned before, ShoWTimE, he's gotten 2nd place at the Tuna Cup twice. He's gotten 2nd place twice here, but this is his first win, his first big win at Sparkling Tuna Cup. So congratulations, man. Congratulations, GG, well played. Oh. Don't forget to join the match arena. But GG, well played. ShoWTimE, he will claim the win here. Congratulations. As I mentioned before, typically in the past, the player that would knock ShoWTimE down would be Bjorn, but this week there is no Bjorn. Bjorn is nowhere to be found, and ShoWTimE, he goes on a tear here. I will say that Percival, he had some nice moments in this game. I'm still thinking of game 1, for example. The early game of game 1 was very, very nice for Percival, and he was able to achieve quite a lot of damage, but then he ended up like in a really weird position where he was expanding, but also being hyper aggressive, and everything kind of fell apart there. So it was a bit of a shaky mid-game out of Percival, and then we just committed to the all-ins. On Pylon as well, it did feel quite close. It was quite a close defense there from ShoWTimE, but as you mentioned, right, he got scouted, he was able to slow down the push, deny stim as well. ShoWTimE was for the most part all over it, and GG, well played, congratulations. ShoWTimE does claim it. Shout out to all the other competitors that did make a deep run here, whether it's Percival coming in second place, Young Yakov in third and fourth, alongside Mixu as well. Again, a nice variety, a nice amount of players. Shout out to uThermal. uThermal, he was able to win the random raffle. uThermal. Did win the random raffle this week, and of course had a good performance as well. I'm still a little bit sad we didn't get to see uThermal against Mixu game 1. I'm still a little, yeah, I wish we were able to experience that. I'm pretty sure uThermal was a recording though. I'm pretty sure he was recording those matches, and I'm sure they're going to be on YouTube at some point, so keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out on uThermal and those matches. Otherwise, GG, well played. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. And again, this is a weekly tournament. This is the 96th edition of the Tuna Cup. We've been running this event for a couple of years. It's been a couple of years at this point. And again, if you want to help support us and support this tournament and support the players and support the scene, you can do so via Patreon. Exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon is designed to fund our players and to fund the tournaments. Again, 100% of the money on Patreon goes towards the players. Our next goal after this one, that's where we can finally start paying out admins and casters. That'll be after the 500 goal. That'll be like at 550 or something. So we'll get there eventually. We'll get there. And thank you so much to all the current patrons, all the current supporters as well. Thank you so much for helping us grow our tournaments. Again, typically this is hosted on Sundays. We can actually have a look together here. We can have a look together. Bam. As you can see, our weekly schedule, we just wrapped up with our Tuesday evening broadcast. You can see here, Tuesday evening, we just wrapped up with the Tuna Cup. Wednesday morning, that's going to be in around, that's going to be around 11 hours. In around 11 hours time, we're going to be live with the Pegasus Cup. That is another weekly tournament, but the time slot is a little bit more catered towards the America scene, towards the Americas, so Latino America, North America as well. Is a little bit more catered towards that region, but we still have some Europeans and Koreans competing, of course, so we got players from all around the world. We have the podcast tomorrow evening. That is going to be our weekly talk show. That is our weekly podcast where we go over all the news in StarCraft and all things happening in StarCraft adjacent news as well. So that's going to be our weekly talk show. We have the StarCraft Evolution League that is going to be on Thursday and Friday, and we have FEL, the Fusion Esports League qualifiers and Polish Championship over the weekend as well. So a lot of Fusion Esports League, and you can see another Tuna on the schedule. That's our usual time slot. That's our usual time slots. That's their Sunday evening here, the day before WarDTV Monday, essentially. So again, we do have our next weekly on Sunday. On Sunday, that's going to be our next Tuna Cup, where you can see players like this and even some more compete on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, here on the CranKy Ducklings. So again, we have plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. We cast more than anyone else out there in regards to StarCraft. And also I want to give a special shout out as well to all the support that we've gotten today. We had a lot of raids. Coca gave us a raid alongside Luis GG as well. We did see, I want to say we got like 3-4 raids here today. It was crazy. Got a lot of support. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the support. We do appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. It was Coca, it was Luis GG. Gracias. Thank you. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up. Here for the time being. Hope you all had a great time. And again, if you enjoyed the content, consider following us here on Twitch. Consider following us on YouTube. Again, we upload VODs to YouTube on a daily basis. So if you see something that you like here, if you're like, oh, I want to watch the podcast, or I want to watch Pegasus Cup, for example, and it's not in the ideal time slot to watch it live for myself, especially if you're working throughout the week, then check out the VODs on YouTube, because that's the place to be. All the VODs, all the content, all the StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Alright, Grimy, that's it. Grimy UK. He also gave us a raid as well. Big shout out to Grimy. Thank you. We have to figure out something special for number 100. True. What do we do for number 100? We could increase the prize pool, specifically for 100. It's a little bit boring. Lightest to play in 100. No shot. Yeah, we'll figure something out for number 100. We have to. We'll bring uThermal on as a caster. Oh god. Otherwise, though, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Stick around, we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Who is live at the moment? Who is live? Let's see. Let us see here. There's not too many people live at the moment. Like Loco's streaming, Oxygen not included. I see ShoWTimE, the captain, he's live as well. Usually we try to raid some smaller streamers to spread the love, to spread the support. But we might raid ShoWTimE. I see Hacker's Top is live. I see Angry is live. True. I'll find someone. Otherwise, thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft, or whenever you happen to tune in. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you have a great rest of your week as well. Thank you so much. Take care. Until next time. Ciao. Bye. Ciao. See you next time.